Welcome. Good evening. It is July 7th, 2026, 7:01 p.m. This is a Planning and Zoning Commission general meeting. We're here in room 206 at Town Hall. So we're going to get right into it. The first item on our agenda is the 2026 Plan of Conservation and Development, the POCD. We are going to review the draft POCD that we got in our packets. You may notice that we are missing our H&H consultant, so as per our discussion, Mr. Ginsberg will be filling in for him today.
Right.
So
bring you up to speed a little bit.
Taking notes and what we want to talk about. So I'll kick it off to you.
Sure. What Neil
in lieu of
talked about
H&H
is the two most important things to look at are really the recommendations, which haven't changed that much, and the new item you have, which is the implementation strategy table. So maybe we start with that. I can hopefully find it in this document. We can put it up on the screen for those who are here today. Let me see if I can
working on both TVs too, which looks good.
Work a little magic here and hopefully I can. Maybe not. This is the recommendations, which we can talk about. In any case, I do have a copy here. Those can...
Is this an old copy maybe you're looking through? Because
This
it's got
might be
this,
it.
yeah.
But in any case, I do have the table. You have it all in front of you.
Yep.
I can certainly pass it around. But what Neil has done is put together a table similar to what happened in the last town plan about the various recommendations and who should be responsible for implementing them, the lead entity. Sometimes he's included support entities, whether it's priority, short-term, mid-term, long-term, and generally the overall cost of such things. So there are implementations in chapter 6 through 9, so we can certainly start with chapter 6. Make sure that you're generally in agreement with the way he's put in the phase. In other words, the priority, the entities, support, and the costs. So, take it away.
Okay. So what we have, we just want to start off on chapter 6 and then go work our way through it. So we've got about an hour and change allocated to this because the rest of the meeting is going to be somewhat brief, I would say. So starting off, and you don't have that on the screen here, do you?
Let me see if I can find it. I don't think I do. No. Neil didn't paste it in here. It's kind of a bummer.
No, it's a separate document.
It's a separate document.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sorry about that. Okay.
No worries. All right.
From the top.
Well, we'll just go through them pretty quickly. I think a lot of these are decent implementation strategy items. So the first one was, create a separate conservation commission. We already have one that's been convened to study such a commission if it's worth doing. So I think that's obviously like the NA. The second one is an open space plan, which I think we can all kind of get behind.
Yep.
Is there any issues? So conduct a tree inventory and assessment. This came up before. I don't know necessarily that this needs to be in the POCD.
I mean, if it is, I think it should be evaluate.
Yeah.
If we're going to do it, because I think there would be some research needed.
Yeah, if it's even a worthwhile endeavor, I think, I don't know that it adds a ton of value knowing what trees are on town land, and I think it's also an arduous task because there's lots of what I think people believe is town land is actually, let's say, Eversource right-of-way or some other thing that the town doesn't control, so it's not as simple as it seems, like just cutting down it. Prepare a community forest management plan.
Just back on tree
Sure.
inventory, there's a $1 sign there for $150,000 or less, and I cannot believe they could do that.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think it should be scrapped. And similarly, a community forest management plan. I also don't think that we need a forest management plan. We're not in a densely wooded forest where there's a lot of fire risk and undergrowth that needs to be trimmed the way it would be, let's say like out west that you'd, or,
Do we know where the recommendation came?
this one I don't even remember where this one came
I
from.
don't either, yeah.
Jeremy, do you have any input on where we even got that one?
I would
Forest?
assume one of the environmental groups, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
So you're saying delete the recommendations
Yeah.
in their entirety?
Yeah,
yep. I think it'd be, I can't even imagine how much that would cost. Adopt a tree protection ordinance. I also don't think that's a good plan for the POCD. I think if we're going to adopt a tree, we might want to study what an ordinance would look like. And we all know that Connecticut has been clear cut to the ground, so none of these trees are native here, and most of them are not. So I don't know that there's a necessary need for a tree protection ordinance, so I would scrap that.
I do think there are some significant trees in our town that, like I can think of, you know, some of the trees in various locations that are, you know, the widths are this big.
The big
and,
ones?
And to have some form of identification system and protection around the really significant trees, and I don't want that to get lost.
Yeah, why don't you just throw in like the word consider? So
Yeah.
It doesn't seem so
Yeah.
strong. I think we
Yeah.
had it in the last one.
Or we can do a consider, or we could task, I guess, maybe the EPC with, you know, evaluating a holistic town, you know, tree
Yeah,
management
I mean,
plan.
I just came back from, you know, Nantucket, and they have a category, a catalog of their significant trees. And so there's not that many that we have in town, but when you do see them and you think, wow, that's just up to the next homeowner to decide whether they want to keep that or not. I mean, some of those big ones that are like really significant.
Yeah, it sounds like something we need to
I
like study,
think-
evaluate.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyway,
I think
I'm
that's
up
fine
for
to leave it that way.
Not losing that entirely.
in that we talk about an ordinance there, it really would fall to the Board of Selectmen, I think, in the first instance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Right, it could be Board of Selectmen, it could be part of the zoning regs. So maybe it's consider a tree protection ordinance. And then one option is to include the Board of Selectmen in the entities.
Yeah.
Could be
With that, it would be applied
I
to.
think that would,
Here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
I think that we can somewhat merge 6 and 7, because I think they kind of go together. So I don't think, right, I like the notion of education and communication about invasives.
Yep.
I don't know that it falls to the level of an invasive management plan, which would certainly require a study, but I think if we could somehow merge these together,
The education.
the education
Mhm.
and then potentially evaluate what a plan or what regulations might look like is a good idea. Because that is one thing we do see a lot of, are the invasives, and they do take over, you know, very quickly
Yeah.
when left just kind of free range.
Yeah.
We saw it in Thorndale where they had a tremendous amount of time and effort dedicated to hand weeding the invasives out, you know, just to make sure they're not weed whacking them down and spreading it and everything. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Particularly on a large scale. So maybe if we could somehow merge those together.
Mhm.
And you give them a mid-range
Yep.
Yeah,
time frame.
yeah, exactly, mid-time frame.
Yep. Not immediate, not short term.
This is the next one, the installation of green stormwater infrastructure. I'm not exactly sure what green stormwater infrastructure is. We have pretty extensive plans on stormwater management.
Sounds a little redundant.
Yeah, to me. I don't know that that's even needed, because I think it's, you know, stormwater management is part of almost every application that we hear.
Yeah.
Right? So I think if there's one thing, I think this board is extraordinarily attuned towards its flooding and stormwater management issues,
Yeah.
you know, across the board. You know, I think we've seen developers go well past the 50-year plan that we require. So I think we could get rid of this one. I think it's somewhat redundant.
What is green stormwater management though?
Yeah,
Is that like
that's-
rain gardens and stuff
I
like
think
that?
it would be less piping and more open rain
Like-
gardens and that type of, so I know Public Works now considers it, but certainly the amount of drainage they need to deal with is much larger than any individual
Yeah.
property owner.
Yeah.
So you're likely to see on a big drainage project, just bigger pipes being put in.
I'm also somewhat skeptical of the rain gardens or just large pits of steady stagnant water sitting around town, because we do have mosquitoes and we do have ticks and we do have airborne insect diseases all over Connecticut, and that just kind of adds to that breeding ground, as opposed to keeping water moving.
And I think when you have large parcels of land, that lends itself to more of that green approach as opposed to,
Yeah, small
you're on
1
a
acre.
half-acre lot and
Trying
I'm
to put a
doing,
little
yeah,
pond in
yeah,
front of, it
yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Like the high school's got a couple
Yeah, exactly.
of the green stormwater management.
This one, I wasn't sure what they were, in 6.9, consider additional wetlands and watercourse protections. I wasn't sure what the ask here with this task was, because, I mean, we do certainly evaluate wetlands considerably in front of the EPC, as all of us know.
Right. So I think the question is, right now, there's a 50-foot regulated area from inland wetlands, 100 feet from a named river or stream. There may be even different regulated areas for septic systems, things like that. So the question is, are there additional, do we want to change those standards? And that, certainly it's up to the EPC now, Environmental Protection Commission.
I mean, I think Darien is considered the strictest sheriff in Fairfield County when it comes to.
Yeah, I don't ever
how
recall
we-
hearing a complaint that we're too loose with development near wetlands, right? I think we
Yeah.
hear the opposite, where things that are probably questionable wetlands are treated as, very significant
And anything could
protection
be
land.
presented on a case by
Case basis,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, for changes to regulations.
Yeah, I agree, I don't see anything.
This would fall apparently to the P&Z department in the first instance. Is that where it came from, or?
No, I think it probably either it came from, and I'd have to check it, whether it was the EPC or some of the commenters, whether it was one of the environmental groups who commented maybe, or the EPC, I don't recall.
I guess maybe it's a clarifying question for Neil.
Yeah,
What
if it's
exactly?
EPC, I'd be more inclined
Yeah.
to
I
support
think,
it.
yeah, if there was more information
Yeah.
attached to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
like if this was something that came from inside our EPC department saying we had a
Okay, I'll double
deficiency in
check
some
that.
way, then I don't want to scoff that off.
As long as we're talking about that, can I just mention one thing quickly in
Sure.
general about the support entities? Can we really list Eversource, Aquarian, et cetera, as support entities? They would be, perhaps.
I think, I hear what you're saying with regards to we have no authority to employ their support,
Right.
but I think as a public document, I do see the other side of the coin for a reader of this to understand that there are cohorts that might need to be involved that are
Sure.
outside of our control.
I just wondered if it might
Yeah.
be phrased in a different way so it wouldn't
Support
appear that they're
entities.
actually.
Yeah,
going
maybe
to be
we
inspected.
change the title to support entities. Maybe that's,
I don't know, what do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, I think, or maybe to be consulted,
Yeah,
or.
But when they
support
when they
entity,
are,
or-
they always are by nature, right? So like when we did the bridge at Weburn, like they were part of that because we also wanted to enhance that water pipe that went through it. So like,
I do think if you take a step higher to provide this as a document that people consult, to not lose the fact that there are constituents that are, that need to be incorporated into
Into
these
everything.
strategies or these implementations that are, it's not just the town of Darien
Sure,
that
yeah.
says, yeah, sure, we can do that.
No, it makes sense. I was just thinking about the way it's
Yeah.
presented.
Is there a downside to it?
No, but it's not the same as, say, the Board of Selectmen being a support entity as,
Yep.
so.
Or we could say outside agencies.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
something
there
like
you
that.
go.
External.
Yeah,
External agencies.
External
Something like
agencies.
that.
Good.
Yeah, I like that. So it's, yeah.
I don't think 610 we need to do. I mean, we continue to do these things, continue to enforce regulations and maintain infrastructure. I think over
Yeah,
the
that's it. Yeah.
it's already being done, and like I think certainly from when I first started in 21 to now we're making the maintenance plans go in the land record. We're doing a lot more than what I think we were even doing 6-7 years ago. in terms of that maintenance and that requirement, so I don't think that's really needed.
Delete 610.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, continue to do your job.
Exactly.
Okay.
Moving on to 611, coastal resilience plan. I don't necessarily disagree with this one, but my concern is how expensive that would be. And my other concern is that, unlike a lot of other towns on the coast, Darien doesn't have a great deal of public waterfront. We have a couple beaches, and we've got obviously the Gray Island now, but the majority of our water frontage in town is residential, which we
5 Mile River Road, you got that whole stretch.
yeah, I guess a little bit of a stretch
Yeah.
there, but it's just not as a town like Fairfield that's got 6 miles of straight beaches. Like they need an erosion plan, they need to have sand trucked in. Like that's a whole different world than what we deal with.
But isn't coastal resilience also including private, like,
If that, I mean, we do.
not that we implement it on private land, but.
Yeah,
like
that's
when
the
you-
thing. We can make regulations about seawalls, kinda.
And then all of that is around CAM.
Yeah.
CAM regulations, that when we have an application come forward, has to meet all CAM regulations.
Right.
Which are not set by us.
I don't even know what a coastal resilience plan would look like.
No, but I'm not sure we need to.
Yeah, exactly, consider, I
Yes.
guess. Like, again, I don't like the directions, because then the next one is consider, like,
Right.
this is all considered.
Yeah.
Right.
In my mind, right?
Right.
I mean,
Mine too.
Right, we're not gonna do the coastal resilience plan, but if somebody else wants to do it.
it's just an idea.
Yeah. That's why I didn't think it was terrible, but it seems difficult to me, and it seems like doing that would be very expensive.
Has $4 signs.
Yeah. Or $5 signs.
$5 signs.
Well, that's for the Board of Selectmen and the RTM.
Yeah, so maybe evaluate, coastal resiliency, and we can, punt that over to kind of the advisory on coastal waters, would seem like really kind of where it lives to me.
Oh, yeah, they're listed here, yeah.
They're listed, but they're kind of in the middle. I think that if anybody's gonna take a lead, they're the ones that take the lead,
Exactly.
To evaluate something, you need the plan and to evaluate. I think consider is a better.
Yeah, consider. Yeah, consider.
Consider a coastal resilience plan,
Yeah.
okay?
I would strike 612 completely, incorporate additional flood protections and resiliency standards. We already do that, and continue to, monitor that and continue to make our regulations, more stringent as we have more of these large flood events. So I think we're going in the right direction there. I think we continue.
I don't know if is that around, no, that's under the built environment. Never mind, because he
Yeah.
captures it somewhere else when he talks about zoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind, okay.
Consider reducing impervious coverage limits in certain residential districts.
This is one we had last time.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I think that should stay,
I don't mind keeping that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It seems to be the general trend anyway. Moving on to sustainability, expand EV charging in Darien. I don't think we can expand. I think we could say something like encourage EV charging adoption, right? And we can nudge, but I don't think we can create a regulation that says for every 10 parking spots, one of them has to be an EV charger kind of rule,
I think the state has already chimed in with that.
Yeah.
I don't know I think it's 1 per 50 or whatever the number the state chose pretty randomly.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say, soften that a little bit, encourage. I think it's a good thing. We do it. So it's something we're already doing. I think we'll see more of it.
It's in the recommendations for 7-2, so it's in there twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to strike that out of 7.2 while you're...
And changing 7.2 as well.
Yeah, expand the network of facilities. Sorry, it's,
Encourage.
yeah.
Same wording, change the same wording. Got it.
I don't know where this came from because I didn't hear this first.
That's coming from, where the
Board of
that wants to take.
Well, a member of the board, I don't know what to say. You might just want to flip Darien Public Schools with Public Works, so it's the lead entity, because they're
Yeah.
not gonna, schools don't do it, they're not gonna do it.
Right, so I don't mind flipping that.
I thought it was mandatory now.
I think Oxbridge has the capacity to do it, but I'm not,
Because they're new.
yes.
Got it.
Yeah, and other sustainable, like, dishware and that sort of thing. So, I would,
So when you say flip it,
flip Darien Public
I
Schools
guess
with
that,
first,
who's in charge of it, or who's,
and then Public Works second, exactly.
Not much for us to do.
616, I think we should scratch. I don't know how you can, we can't create regulations for people to do stuff. We have a blight board if we're not maintaining it, but we can't mandate non-toxic fertilizers or
yeah, I think what they
do your
said
leaves
is,
once a week. We can't mandate any of that. So I don't think, and you know, that would, there's nothing we can do about that. So I would get rid of
What
that.
did you, 616?
Yeah.
It's interesting that Eversource and Aquarium are listed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the advisory committee on sustainability may want to do that outreach to property owners, but I guess it's not really a.
yeah,
Yeah.
it might not be this group.
It's not, yeah, it's not a POCD type of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Incorporate sustainable green building requirements into zoning districts that permit multifamily and mixed-use development.
It's like solar.
Yeah, I don't, you know, we could say, in this, I know that EPC does do some green building already, right? When you see large projects.
Yeah, it's interesting, we do not require solar. I don't think our regs even talk about that in any way. They do encourage a lot
But
of,
the green and the sustainability aspect of it is part of EPC, right?
right, they talk a little bit about adding more plantings, less pavement, those types of things. I know the library was the lead in developing a green building with certain light
Geothermal.
system,
Right.
geothermal, heating, et cetera, et cetera.
So why don't you just throw EPC after P and Z department?
That's what I would think, and I don't want to say incorporate requirements. I would say something like encourage sustainable development here,
Into green zoning district.
because, you know, it's difficult for us to tell somebody to do something on private property. But I would say,
Well, when they
yeah.
come to us for special permit, it's pretty easy for us.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
use this specific
Yeah.
building material
Yeah.
is a lot
Yeah.
different than,
Okay.
don't build
Yeah,
it
and that's
40,000
where it's
feet up.
encourage versus mandate.
Yeah,
You know, a
exactly.
mandated is almost like you need building regs
Yeah,
to
it's
back
perm-
up.
yeah,
your-
and then they gotta
to back
check
up
in
what
and-
you're asking for.
Okay. All right, so that's it. Does anybody have anything you think we missed? There were a lot of stuff in there I didn't necessarily remember seeing, but I think we got to
Yeah.
the bottom of a good amount, a
Yeah.
good number of them. So we'll move on to transport and mobility.
And then, just before you do that,
Sure.
there was a comment section when I was going through the document, and I just added my comments to that. I don't know if you guys could see them, or Neil can?
Neil got it, I did not.
Okay,
All right,
perfect.
so I'll add mine in. When you do.
Yeah,
Make a
we're
whole
gonna
Yeah,
go
I'm
Sure,
not
through.
that's
doing
what-
that yet.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted the note that I wrote.
What we
Yeah, I will.
talked about was, we're gonna, since this is being recorded, Jeremy's taking notes, Neil's gonna go through the comments as well,
Okay.
and then do another hash at this. And the hope is to get it out, the 97% completed, let's say.
Perfect, okay.
Draft to the public, like in a week.
Yeah.
So we'll incorporate all of these comments that we've
Okay.
gotten.
The one that I typed in.
Exactly.
Jamie has comments.
Yeah.
I have comments. that-
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
just get them to us
But just
tomorrow.
put them in, running in the dock, right?
However you wanna
And
do
then-
it.
Yeah, okay.
So moving on to transport and mobility. The first one, reduce traffic congestion and improve traffic safety.
That's broad.
It's
Yeah, I'm
it's.
opposed to that.
That goes under magic wand.
I was gonna say. So one, I think those are two separate items. I don't think those are one, right? Traffic safety, you know, we're talking pedestrian safety, we're talking sidewalks, we're talking lighting, we're talking crosswalks. That's totally different than traffic congestion, which is like
Yeah.
sinking lights, sinking crosswalks. A lot of traffic congestion is out of our control because we don't own the Post Road, which is, you know, the main artery here. But I do think there are things we can investigate or we can kind of put in here, like we can encourage, let's say, stricter enforcement of usage of our roads as cut-throughs, like when 95 is backed up. You know, I don't want to
Yeah.
say do it, but we can certainly encourage that. I know the police have been a lot more, present when those accidents have happened, but there could still be more.
But also think of adding turn lanes.
Yeah, like
Turn
Rutland
lanes.
West.
Yeah,
We're
We're
got a
doing-
couple in Rutland Ledge. Well, we did, the private sector worked on Heights and Hollow Tree.
yep,
So I have
to
two
move
turning
those.
lanes. And Rutland Ledge will hopefully be next year, hopefully.
But see, that I think is, traffic safety, the turning lanes, more so than the congestion alleviation, like the
Ledge Road
natural.
will be a alleviation of congestion.
Right, like it helps alleviate traffic on Ledge if there's a right-hand turn at the end of it, definitely. But it's also like a safety feature, because it's at the top of a hill, you're coming up, you're trying to it's very difficult, it's kind of a blind if you're not, so I think one knocks off the other, so I'd like to split that.
Split 7-1 into 2 recommendations.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
But just say, encourage road improvements that improve traffic safety, kind of thing. Like, I don't know if we want to get into identifying specific intersections we think are bad that, could be better, because I think there's a lot of them in town that could be a little bit better.
Well, other things may come up in the future, so I think it should be broad enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And there may be other intersections that lend themselves to,
And why is Darien Public Schools in this? Is it because of the
Because-
times of start times, like staggering start
And
times
I
and
also
stuff
think
like?
The walkers on the
the
road without
right-hand
sidewalks.
only during certain times, pick up and drop offs, like
Yeah.
when we did the Henley.
Henley School.
It was a
Okay.
And the
right-hand turn.
maths too,
Yeah.
because.
And the
that
restriction at
going to
Darien High
holiday.
School? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
So that's why I think that one, when you split it out and you make
Sure.
traffic congestion and safety, public schools, yes.
Yeah.
Traffic congestion, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna make that into 2 separate recommendations. One is encourage road improvements which increase public safety, and the second one will be reduce traffic congestion.
Yeah, investigate, or encourage, I don't know how you.
But yeah, no,
phrase
there's
it.
a lot of ways, like by adding,
Fog
the
lights.
arrows
Yeah.
and the lights
Yep.
and the, left turn signals, that sort of thing, so.
Getting rid of the train tracks in the middle of town.
Adding a tunnel on,
Put
Old
95
Kings Highway.
underground, just
Yeah.
do a big dig and just move
Mhm.
95 underneath it, and then it will alleviate a lot, so we should just do that.
Again, the magic wand.
Expand network of facilities and accommodations for safe walking.
Biking, walking, I'm sorry.
This is, that's it, like, there was a 7.4 is kind of similar, promote a culture of walking and biking. I think I read this a couple times and I came away with, this sounds like more sidewalks, right? Is that what the ask is here? To accommodate safe walking, doesn't that mean more sidewalks and
might be
like,
paths through, like, cut-throughs, like, behind Town Hall that we added years ago.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's gonna forevermore be on our plan of conservation and development. That's
You just
something
don't
that
like the
should-
language?
It
Yeah.
should always be an eye for how we improve that, how do we create more
Yeah.
pedestrian friendly.
Better to promote more than.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know.
maybe promote a network and accommodations for safe
Yeah.
pedestrian. Well, I don't
I
want
like-
to
yep.
say walking necessarily, but pedestrian traffic, because, we got wheelchairs, kids on
Yeah.
bikes, strollers, all kinds of stuff.
And use the similar language around the biking and the next
Yeah.
one.
But
Whatever that.
I do think the second one somehow, we also want to somehow say, like, I think it's getting more towards like bike lanes as well on some of the roads that, could have it, that are wide enough for it, but don't. Or, the biking sort of like stripes on some of the roads, you see where it's like 3 feet.
Row 8 Avenue.
Yeah.
Has it all over it.
So how do you want to word that one, Jerry?
I think that all falls into the accommodations of safe biking.
You want to say encourage,
Yeah.
accommodations for safe biking throughout town?
7-3,
Yeah.
That's good.
accommodations for safe biking throughout.
Are
That's
we
a
creating
tough
a
one.
network of facilities?
That's-
No.
No.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's also more on the wand. 7.4, I mean,
Redundant.
yeah, we can leave it in there, but I don't, it's not, our job isn't to promote cultures of anything in a POCD. It's to encourage, development and sustainability.
Remember, this is used by people beyond us.
Yeah.
Okay, so when they're like writing regs at the RTM, they'll refer to plan and conservation development for.
But I think we've covered
Yeah.
walking and
Yeah,
biking.
I think this
1 through 4.
7.4
Yeah.
is totally redundant, so I would take it out.
7.5, improve multimodal access to the train stations. I mean, I'm for this. I think that you could see widened roads underneath the underpasses, but I don't think, I think it's worth keeping in here because it's something we can bash the state over if they're gonna do it, but like, they're also renovating, one station is new, the second one they're renovating right now, so this is gonna have to be in like the next 4 POCDs before they're gonna need a new train station. So in 2080.
But does this mean, I think it means like taking mopeds, bikes, walking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or coordinating with the
Cars.
the state bus routes.
Yeah.
yep,
So it could be all those things. Hey, we need more covered, what they talk about is covered bike racks.
Right.
So if you,
Put a
when you
little
come
there.
back, I won't use
The
yesterday
wet
as an
seat,
example.
yeah.
Yeah, like I'm fine leaving it here, I just don't know what,
Yeah.
we can leave it. This next one, update and modernize the wayfinding system, I think is
Yeah.
worth keeping in
Yep.
as a recommendation. It needs to be updated, the signs are dated and old and,
Yep.
so any,
I would, one of the supporting institutions would be the state, on the state roads.
Yeah.
You have those outdated signs.
Other-
So-
It says, oh yeah, institutions, yeah, we'll change that to
state.
state DOT.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The next one, plan for increased delivery vehicles and last mile delivery activity. I think we can change the language around this. We're already doing it in developments, in
Yeah.
Thorndale, not Thorndale, in Sedgwick.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about where's the Amazon gonna
Yeah.
park. It's a way of life, even over on the new development in Heights. We talked a lot about, well, if you put this parking spot on this place, a delivery truck is gonna use it, so let's move this somewhere else. So I
Yeah.
think we can, I wanna keep it in here, but
Continue to plan for?
yeah, continue to give scrutiny towards, delivery
to plan
activity,
for
'cause it's only getting bigger, right? We're not going backwards in time.
How do we say discourage from parking in the middle of the street?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, we could come up with some, I think that's more of a legal traffic authority and ticketing and,
But also,
town.
if you find, just what you mentioned, George, if Amazon or FedEx has a good place to park,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they won't park on the street.
Right.
yeah. And that is so tied into the wayfinding, and just signage in general.
Yeah.
If you drop somebody off at the train station, you watch how many Uber drivers come in the wrong way and just start going
Yeah.
against the traffic, because there is no signage
There's
right
no-
now
yeah,
in the
no.
middle of that construction. Things like that really need to be, yep,
Yeah. Okay.
and that problem's only gonna get worse.
Manage downtown parking. I don't know what, we can leave this in here. I think people are upset with parking in general now because there's a lot of construction at the train station. There's a lot of parking on Corbin, there's a lot of parking on, it's
Cabs.
tight, there's a lot because there's a lot of construction. I think a lot of this parking will be alleviated in 3 years from now. So I don't think it'll be as bad as it is. But I do understand.
You're on the record,
Yeah, I get that it's bad now, and I think that it's something, it should be thought of, okay, if there is gonna be more construction or more development, we do need to be a little bit more in tune with parking, because we are kind of somewhat loose on it. So, I don't know, do we wanna just say,
Continue to manage them.
Yeah.
yeah,
it's
I would just say
really-
manage commercial parking, I wouldn't say downtown, because I think it goes to not just what people may, traditionally think of downtown, right at, right at like Uncle's Deli. Is that downtown? What about the parking over by, Stop and Shop? or the parking over in
New Road.
Norotan, or, back behind.
How about town-wide?
Yeah, that's what I just said,
Great Island is
manage
gonna be
parking,
one.
yeah, Great Island's gonna have
I
parking.
think we should add in the Board of Selectmen,
Yeah, definitely.
because they are the parking authority.
Yep.
So maybe they're the lead.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't, where does Public Works fall on this?
Public Works falls in, they are consulted,
Implementation, yeah.
so when, I've been in numerous meetings through the years with various selectmen, Public Works, okay, we move this to be 2-hour parking, make this
Okay,
1 hour,
okay.
move the employees over here, what about this? And decision gets made by the Board of Selectmen, Public Works implements it with signage, striping,
Yeah.
stickers, whatever it is, and it's a continuous, nonstop process. So
Yeah.
trying to find out we know where the demand is, but how to accommodate the balance of employees, commuters, shoppers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
So, got it.
7-9 is the dupe, we can strike.
Strike or keep?
We already talked about it in 614.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's redundant.
It's redundant.
Okay.
We're already encouraging EV.
Okay.
All right, so moving on to community facilities, amenities, and services. Prepare an environmentally sustainable municipal fleet policy.
We have talked about it, the pros and cons of electric vehicles. The town has obviously police vehicles, town vehicles, other vehicles, and we've had numerous conversations about the benefits and drawbacks of electric vehicles, where they're appropriate, where they may not work, et cetera, et cetera. And, what is that? The town has to do things when the power goes out. If our electric chargers aren't working, what's that? Versus buying gasoline, the price of gasoline, we get into a number of issues, how many
School
chargers
bus
for the
fleet,
town.
they've been talking
School
about.
bus fleet,
Yeah.
they've talked about that. So there are a number of ongoing conversations, trying to find that right balance. Where are they appropriate? Where cost versus benefit? Are you able to buy replacement cars?
Yeah.
What if they break down? Who's gonna fix all these issues?
Do we want to soften it somewhat instead of prepare? Sounds like we're telling the Board of Selectmen to do this. I think we might want to soften that a
Consider.
little bit. Consider.
Change
Yeah,
per-
that's usually our default.
Yep.
I would add the Board of Ed here, right? Because the
Yeah.
Board of Ed owns the.
They own some of their fleet, and they use,
Right.
But lately, they've been
basically,
in-housing more of it, right? So
The
they-
small fleet, not the big ones.
yeah, but the Suburbans.
Yes.
So I would add
Add Board of
Board of
Education.
Ed to it as well.
Okay.
This one, it even references the fact that it was also in this recommendations on the 6th. This is the evaluation of the installation of green stormwater infrastructure. I think we
It's 6.8, and we deleted 6.8.
Yeah, that's
So
what
we
I'd like.
delete 8.2.
Yeah. Prepare a municipal green buildings policy. I also think we can scrap that.
Yeah, we did, it was already in.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't just municipal, it was.
Green,
Green.
we talked about green
Green.
stormwater infrastructure in 6-8. Green building requirements into the zoning districts in 6-17.
Yes, we can, it's somewhat redundant, right?
We encouraged in 6-17.
But the town has its own interests and, there are solar panels on this building now, so
There are.
they might want to have a policy on what they want to do in the future, which I think is fine. So a municipal.
I don't mind keeping it here because it is different than
Okay.
it's
So
related to different buildings.
Consider.
Do we want to say
that.
consider?
Consider is good.
Change prepared to consider. Okay.
8.4, I like. I think it's
Yeah.
generally in here, and I think we reference it a lot, so I don't think there's any need to change, the town acquiring
Yep.
property for expansion needs. The only problem I had with the wording for potential expansion needs, the town might also want to acquire property that just doesn't work as a home, a home that floods
Like they did, yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over again.
that's not really
Premise.
expanding anything.
Yep.
You know, but it's just, I think it's a good idea for the town to just, you know, acquire those properties so that we don't have, you know, a homeowner that comes before us that their house is flooding and it's because it's flooded 19 times.
So you would want to delete adjacent as well as expansion.
When you want evaluate potential acquisitions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something.
Yeah, generally, yeah.
acquire just
Evaluate.
available property.
Or
Or,
evaluate,
Um,
or consider.
So adding a new recommendation,
Or just changing the wording.
right? Or you could say, acquire adjacent available property for potential expansion needs. Again, this is for community facilities. I guess in another chapter, you
Oh.
could say
Yeah, because it's just
Consider-
to the facilities.
Acquisition
This is
property
under
for
the facility.
strategic,
Yeah.
right?
You
So
know,
maybe
which is
that would be
why-
more environmental
Yeah.
quality and
Yes,
protection.
yes.
Yeah.
So add a new
seven,
chapter 6.
6.
What's
I
7
think
is
you had-
transportation. So chapter 6,
610, something like that. Or
Yeah,
or
and
just
what
bump
of-
them all.
Open space interests.
yeah,
Yeah, that's, I mean, I think it's a good thing for a lot of different reasons, so I don't wanna pigeonhole, well, this parcel of land isn't adjacent to any town property, so
Yeah,
we
sure.
shouldn't
Right.
encourage it, and somebody gets up
Consider
here and fights it, and it's in,
Additional open space acquisition.
consider acquisition of properties.
Open space.
For-
No, it's not just open space.
For flood
Environmental.
prevention or open space
Yeah.
purposes?
Yes, you're good.
Okay.
I wasn't sure why 8.5 is in here, this
Me neither.
seems
Just seems like a
way
very-
out of the purview
Yeah.
of planning and
It just
zoning.
seems like an operational.
Yeah.
And continue to do.
I mean, I'm happy to take control of the town and oversee staffing from my perch here atop the Planning and Zoning Commission, but I feel like that's not great governance. So why don't we just get rid of that?
8.5.
8.5.
8.5, right.
Yeah,
Is 8.6 required by the state?
that's what we're
It's
gonna.
not required by the state, but I think the Park and Recreation Department
I think that's a good idea.
Mhm.
has
Yeah.
talked about it.
How old is theirs, do we know?
It's more than 10 years old. So
Okay.
I spoke to
I
Lori
think that's a
Mora
good
and
idea.
Jen Fava about it. And they said, you know, there's still some things they've been following up through the year, you
Yeah.
know, with the weed and pear tree.
But in order for them to get dollars to.
Whether it's
do
grant
a
dollars
proper-
Yeah,
or other.
they needs to be
Proper plan, I
updated.
think, I think it's a.
Do we wanna
wise
add
to
something
have
about the
it.
cadence of it too? I had in kind of my, like, the same way this is done every 10 years, do we wanna?
I think we can keep it broad enough to that it's something that's on our plan to say this is important, we've allocated that's important, and therefore, you know,
Okay.
Board of Selectmen, I think it's really Parks and Rec and Board of Selectmen, because
Add Board of
they,
Selectmen.
Yeah, I
Board of
know,
Selectmen needs to, allocate the dollars to getting a real plan together for them.
Yeah, we'll put them as,
Is update the right word? Are we updating the POCD or is this a new POCD?
you know, I think it's funny you mentioned that, George, because I was just thinking that, I think originally we had prepared a new, and I think it came back from Park and Rec. I think it's in this
Update.
document.
As update?
Change it to update.
Update.
So
Okay.
they preferred that wording, I think.
Fine.
Perfect.
Okay?
Okay. Implement drainage study findings?
We're under Public Works now?
Yeah.
See if I can pull these up on the screen.
Yep.
Priority, I guess we better not touch that.
Here we go.
Hydrogen infrastructure against flood.
This is Public Works.
Yes. Yep, there, it's the first one.
Okay, good.
Implement, you're right on the page, right there, to your right.
Beautiful.
87.
Implement drainage study findings. I
Oh,
think,
no.
like,
Oh, right there.
it sounds more, like, when you read the text underneath it, it sounds less, you know, arduous than, I think, the headline. You know, it's basically saying incorporate the, you know, results into long-term capital planning. It doesn't say, go fix this now and
Yep.
find money
Yeah,
for
yeah.
it,
Yep.
right? So like, my concern was, do we want to somehow soften it a little bit? Because I think it's definitely something that should be done.
Prioritize
Yeah.
drainage study findings.
Yeah, something, you know, instead of saying you gotta go do this and spend money this year to do it, which sounds like this is what we're, you know, I could envision somebody taking this and suing the town and saying like, you didn't fix the stormwater drain outside my house and now I'm flooding, and it's like,
How about create an implementation plan?
yeah, that might even be better.
Okay.
Or, you know,
For, yeah, like, create implementation plans for drainage study findings.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know how we can harden infrastructure against flooding.
Yeah, I think the envision is we have various sewer pump stations.
Yeah, is it
Yep.
like size of pumps, size of piping,
I think some of them are,
efficiency of pumps?
in an ideal world, maybe not in the ideal locations, like near Water Lane, which,
Yeah.
so I think they're trying to figure out long-term, maybe that's,
How do we want to say that, though? I don't know if we want to say harden. Harden to me sounds like
Seems
build
like-
walls.
consider protecting.
Yeah.
Enhancements, you know,
Yeah.
Yes,
enhance.
infrastructure
Yeah,
enhancements.
consider infrastructure enhancements to mitigate flooding.
Okay.
Might be a better way to do it. Because I don't think you can stop, I
Yeah.
mean, we know you can't stop the flooding. We're at the lowest elevation, flood, water goes down.
And Board of Selectmen should be,
Yeah,
that
definitely
one
Board of
and
Selectmen is the number one.
and on 8.7 too.
8.7,
Yeah.
add BOS, 8.8, add BOS. Okay. Let's continue down here.
Yep, so Town Hall, 8-9. I don't know if you can find it.
We're gonna scroll down very carefully. Okay.
Looks like you might have lost it.
No.
It's hard when you read it on one, I don't like how this is designed to be printed as folded, but then read as a PDF where the pages are on the
Yeah,
opposite
yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
It makes it difficult to read as just my,
Yep.
kind of completely nailed out this a couple times.
Yeah, that should, I have said on there.
Sorry about this.
No, well, we can move on.
Okay.
So the Town Hall, yeah, so the first one is, continue monitoring space needs and existing leases in Town Hall. I like this. I think it's, exactly what we're doing, and we've seen a couple of these applications recently, and I think they've all been great. So I think we want to keep it in here so that future leasees can point to this and
Mhm.
continue to lease and provide valuable services to the town. The second one, continue to support the Mather Center and At Home in Darien.
Yeah.
I think are totally fine. Is town administrator the right?
Yes, because,
Okay.
there's.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Ensure that emergency planning incorporates the needs of seniors.
Why is it just seniors?
That's what I was gonna say.
All-
That's what I was,
All constituents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just ensure that emergency planning incorporates the needs of town residents.
yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Thought the same thing. I was like, what
Police
about
commission
kids?
should be-
We're just letting the kids.
Yeah.
They can swim.
We should have the police department, police commissions.
Yeah.
and-
Add police, thank you.
And police too, definitely.
Okay.
Okay,
Here we go.
address ongoing police department building issues.
Assess
Assess police
police
department
department
building,
needs.
yeah,
Building
Building
needs.
needs,
yeah, soften it up a little bit. I mean, if we had all the money in the world, yeah, I know that buildings has some pretty interesting, it's not, on 42nd Street falling apart right now, but
Oh, gosh.
it's pretty close.
That needs
No, it's
some
not.
other parties added to it too. Board
Yeah.
of Selectmen.
Selectmen,
Thanks, Jamie.
RTM,
Police
It's
department.
BZ.
They left the oldest part of the structure. That was the issue.
Okay, 8:13.
This is implement recommendations of the 25 architectural and safety needs assessment for the Norotan Heights Fire Station.
Is that the wall?
I would think so.
I think it
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
Isn't that been completed?
No.
They're working on it,
Drove
for
past
sure.
it, there's,
No, I mean, aren't they, it hasn't,
It has been approved.
It's been
by
approved.
us.
oh, they haven't
Yeah.
commenced with
Oh, it's
construction.
underway, I'm sure.
I
I've
think-
seen pilings.
yeah, it's moving slowly, but we approved that years ago.
And then this talks about here is the need for places for volunteers to stay either at or close to firehouse.
Okay,
Yeah.
Got it, okay.
Which I didn't see in an item, but I like that, and I think it was a good thing that we did when we got that temporary housing, and I'd like to see more of that in town. Can we create a separate,
Recommendation?
yeah, that,
I thought there was
Put
one
under
in there
workforce
somewhere,
housing,
yeah.
Like,
I don't remember seeing workforce
I
housing.
remember
Yeah,
it was in the,
wasn't
in the
called
body,
workforce
but it
because
was in
that's
the
a
body, but it didn't come out.
That's what I'm saying, it
as
didn't make it into here.
Didn't come out here. It was in the body of the,
Here, continue to support, it's 9A, continue to support the creation of employer-assisted
Oh,
housing.
okay, so maybe we broaden 9.8 a little bit?
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, do we 9.8, do we want to, instead of saying employer assisted, I guess,
That's really country
Well,
clubs.
yeah,
That's.
What do we
could-
put as separate one?
that could be anything.
Just be employee housing.
Yeah, and just say employee housing.
What we mean for the
Oh, yeah.
town of Darien.
That's what I'm thinking more, well, even the fire is not necessarily a town,
Right,
Right.
right?
yep.
Or
So,
an employee.
Do you wanna
yeah,
have
they're
one-
volunteers too, so they weren't employees.
Put it right under fire, maybe a separate one under fire?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I could see one
But
for
isn't it
fire.
everybody? It's police, fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, first responders, maybe say,
Okay.
something like that.
Just change to employee and volunteer housing.
That could work.
Wait, you're back to 9.8 again?
9.8 again, yeah, I'm back to 9.8 again.
So instead of doing an 8, you do it on 9.8, yeah.
Because it's the spirit is
Yeah.
making it, for affordable housing
Agreed.
in service people, yeah.
Did you get that?
So we're gonna change 9.8, but leave what's on the screen here. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
8.14, we can encourage Aquarian to update and protect their infrastructure to enhance fire protection. I think that's fine as worded.
An Aquarian definitely needs to be on the.
Yeah, that's the thing here.
I think there's 14 at Aquarian.
Do we want to say, I know this one is kind of specific towards like the hydrants and like the locations and the pressure in it, but do we want to just say, do we want to add Eversource too? Because, or do we want to do a separate thing like, when Eversource doesn't trim back the trees, it creates a significant amount of first responder issues, whether it's downlines and police in the roads directing traffic, so the lights were out on the road and all yesterday and the day before, right? Stop signs up there, cops out there, so it's not just fire, in addition to trees literally catching on fire before they trim the lines back on Metro North. Do we want to put a separate one for Eversource here or somewhere else? Because I think they kind of go hand in hand. I think this one is meant to be the fire hydrants, is how I
Yes,
read it.
Absolutely.
So, but I do want to have something, similar. We want to encourage Eversource to take into account tree trimming, where possible.
Tree management.
To yeah, you want to do that?
I'm just trying to find
It
it.
actually was Eversource's initiative that caused the brouhaha.
That being the natural environment.
Yeah.
Taking too many trees. So
Yeah.
be careful what you wish for.
Yeah,
Right.
but-
So maybe, as John Cini suggested, at the end of the environmental chapter, just adding the desire for Eversource to have proper tree management.
Tree treatment.
And the town.
And the town, yeah.
Chapter add. Okay.
For EMS, consider building upgrades and or relocation of current building.
8:15.
8:15.
They were in front of the Board of Selectmen about that recently. right?
Yeah, I don't mind keeping this in here, in case they do need a new building. I'd like them to be able to get a new building, especially as post 53 is expanding.
Yep, leave that in.
Anybody have
Okay,
any
as
issues?
is.
Yep.
No,
And it's just consider, so it's not saying
Yep, no.
upgrade and or
It's not a
relocate,
mandate, yeah.
go buy a new building. Library. Was this an ask? Because I don't remember a comment about library parking, and I've never known that lot to be overparked.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
I've heard
Oh.
the first.
That's why they have this
Talking
shared
about,
parking
yeah.
with Jerry
Yeah.
Nelson,
Oh, yeah.
is very
Oh, yeah,
generous.
they don't have enough.
He's talking about a garage.
When
The
there's an
library?
event, yeah,
Oh,
when there's
yeah.
an event.
Oh, when there's an event, I say, when I use it in the normal course of
Yeah.
business, it's
Good
Two-
save there.
2 o'clock on a Wednesday, it's half full, like, you know, they've got the nanny stuff, but,
No.
Yeah.
okay, I don't know where.
That's why all the police signs are.
Where they are.
Only
Mhm.
police business, yeah.
All right, we can leave it in here. I don't know what to do about it, but we can explore, I like the language is fine.
Board of Selectmen needs to be
Yeah,
on.
we have, I was gonna
They
say,
bring us something.
8-16, add Board of Selectmen. Got it?
I don't go to enough events at the library, I guess.
All right.
Okay, we'll move upward. Oh, too fast. Keep going. 8-18.
817, public schools. Continue to collaborate on safe multimodal access to and from schools, Board of Ed.
Should be local traffic.
That should be,
authority.
yeah, or the
LTA.
police, because don't they manage the crossing guards? too?
Yeah.
So-
Do we want to say Darien Public Schools, or do we want to say the Board of Ed?
No difference, really.
8-17.
It
Oh, we could say
includes,
public
right,
schools.
Board of
Yeah,
Ed.
let the superintendent be involved too.
Okay.
So keep 8-17.
Yep.
Which is on the screen now. Keep that as is.
With Darien Police.
Add
Police Commission.
Police Commission.
Okay.
But the next one should be Board of Ed, not schools. For the bus depot?
Yeah.
No, that would be schools and board, it's actually gotta be Board of Selectmen, because that's gonna be
Yeah.
owned by the town.
Owned by the town.
So, we'd put Board of
Yeah.
Selectmen there and Darien Public Schools.
Yeah.
Do we want to say look for, or should we say like continue to evaluate a location, or does it really
In,
matter? In town?
location,
To purchase, because we
Yeah.
rent space effectively, or I guess we contract for space.
Yeah.
locate property for
In-
this depot.
Or investigate possible locations.
Yeah,
Yeah, that might be
that's
good.
better, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Okay.
819.
819, consider illuminating additional fields. Do we want to say evaluate field lighting? I mean, I like the idea. I think they're a big hit, playing under the lights. I think, and I think we should also say not just illuminating additional fields, but expanding, illuminated events now. I think it's one of the, taking my kids to see the football game under the lights, it's like the coolest experience they have, so it shouldn't be just segmented to certain teams at certain times. I'd like to see an expansion of it. It's the town's field. If women's softball wants to play at night, I think that's a great idea.
Oh, I see what
You
you're
know what I
saying.
mean? More
Another
lighting.
field, another.
Yeah,
field,
other fields.
Yeah, yeah, well, consider illuminating an additional field to fall.
But also more illumination, so you have more outdoor practices, more lighting.
Oh, so what you're saying is.
Hours of
And possibly expand the hours
Yeah.
of existing lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, do both of that. yeah.
Okay, so add to this one recommendation,
How things have changed.
You have no idea.
and expand use, okay.
Yeah, you got the Pee Wee football using it. Baseball wants to practice, they get some lights up on Baker Field.
Oh, I did.
McGuane, get some lights on McGuane.
You're talking the right guy,
Okay,
although no kids left.
I
Chapter
got a
9.
baseball son. Let's get some lights out there. All right, moving on. Going to the build environment, making good headway here. So under the first one, review and update the ADU provisions and the zoning regulations. Did we need to have this because it's part of our regulations, or that they go away and we have to do this?
they
Right.
go,
I think we agreed to evaluate.
Yeah,
this.
as part of it, do we want to keep it in here?
I don't see any harm.
Okay.
Let folks know that's what we will do.
Wouldn't we be, that wouldn't P and
That's what
Z Commission be the lead?
Be the lead on that too, yeah, I thought that too, all of these would be
You've
flipped.
got a lot of work there, Jeremy. So-
I got it now. Let me see if I can pull it up on the screen for viewers at home. There's ADU provision, which is recommendation 9-1,
Yep.
and,
We could leave it in there. I think it's part of what we need to do.
Yeah, I think it's.
okay,
I wanna take it
9-1,
there.
okay as is.
You, in the lead and support, you've got to flip them though. You've got the department as the lead and P and Z as the support. I think it's the other way around.
Got it?
I think on all of these, it's the other way around.
9-2, 9-3 as well.
Yeah. 9.2, consider reducing maximum build coverage in certain residential districts, I think. Explore, and 9.3 is explore institutional development site area limits in residential districts, I think is fine too.
Institute develop
Site area limits. I wanted to add to this section, do we want to also think about, one, fixing non-conforming plots when possible?
That was
We-
in the
that
last
was-
POC.
It was in the
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
a
I'm
good
saying, it was
point,
in the
yeah.
last one, but I didn't see it in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Right,
because
we've done work on it, and we've had a couple over the years trickle through, they fix, it looks better, and you have some, get rid of the flag lots.
or you rezone
Yeah.
areas that are all,
Yeah.
there are a couple areas in town which are, in one district, you're like, but everyone's undersized. It doesn't make
You're
any
Yeah.
sense.
capturing the non.
So let's add in, consider resolving nonconformities, large nonconforming areas
Yeah.
via zoning changes.
I don't know how many of those we have left.
Why do you have to say large?
Yeah, just
Well-
say, I would get rid of large, I'd just say regular, or just non-conforming.
Yep.
And the other thing we kicked around too, but I didn't see in here, which I think falls under single family, is addressing the height of buildings. Where we have kind of a Rube Goldberg methodology of how tall 35 feet is. It's measured from median sloped roof plus the dormers divided by 2 and the land if you're standing on your left foot and your right hand is in the air. And that's 35 feet, it's fine. And then you look at a house and it's like 60 feet up in the air and you're like, how is this possible? So I think we might want to
Yeah.
put in,
Evaluate.
Yeah.
a different metric or a more standard
Mhm.
metric for height
Yeah.
of residential houses. I think there's a number of different ways different towns skin it, and I think ours is the worst way.
Now, what would that do to like non-conforming though? It would like.
They're grandfathered in, so there's
Yeah, then
nothing.
we'd go backwards though in the I'm just.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we
We
wouldn't.
create massive non-conforming
No,
then throughout
yeah,
town, right?
but maybe just on a
On going forward basis, yeah.
Or,
But just an evaluate. I mean, it's not like it's something that needs to be done, but I think it's a worthwhile.
evaluate a more simple metric relative to the
Overall
calculation of building.
Building height, yeah.
Yep.
I don't think developers will like it.
And
but
I don't know
think-
if that's too granular to be in a POCD,
Mm.
but
I think if the commission decides to proceed, you can certainly
We
say.
can look at it and be
Yeah.
like, this is worth spending 2 hours in some meeting in a year on. And
Yeah.
Right.
we
Or-
get a consultant in and.
Or as we continue to refine, you
yeah.
know, even something as routine as dormers or cupolas,
Yeah.
how are they treated in that definition? And
Yeah.
what I do for a living. is
Exactly.
Meet with people and explain,
Exactly.
well, this,
Yeah.
just what you said, this dormer counts, but this dormer doesn't count. Or if you add this
Yeah.
much fill, all that.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
nuance.
Mhm.
It's certainly an art, as
Yeah.
we're all aware. Okay, market rate housing, encourage the development of more for sale condominiums versus rental
I
apartments.
don't think we want to discourage rental apartments. I think that would be, I'm thinking of like housing law.
How about
things
just
like
say,
that,
get out the strike versus rental apartments?
Right.
Yeah, and I'd say just more do we want to include, townhouses that aren't condominiumized, right? Like, we don't want to just encourage condos.
Well, I think that the gist of this was, some of the comments that we've received over
55
the
and
years
over,
that,
yeah.
well, no, it wasn't that. I was, there are, most of the multifamily dwelling units are now for rent,
Yeah.
and there's little ability to buy.
To buy.
a
No, I'm saying we just don't
within
want
a-
condo, like, get rid of condominium and just put,
But I thought that's what a condo was, if you purchased it.
Townhome would technically, it's a legal,
Or
It could be
condo
feasible,
slash
though.
townhome.
yeah, just, I get what you're saying. We want more for sale development
Yeah.
of,
We're still multifamily.
you want to say multifamily? I don't even know a townhouse is multifamily. I guess it's
Yeah, it is,
technically
yeah.
is.
Unless
Yeah.
it's feasible and then it's not.
Yeah. So you want to do that, more for sale condominiums, multifamily
Okay,
development?
or just change condominiums, you can just say multifamily.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that. The encouragement of more
Forward.
for sale multifamily
Perfect.
units.
Condominium, got it?
Okay.
And that should be switched to, right, P and Z commission?
Yeah, and P and Z at the top too. I think all of
Aren't
these.
all of these?
Yeah,
You're gonna flip
P and
everything?
Z. I think nine, seven falls to people out of our purview, but for 5 and 6.
Slip lead, got it.
Certainly 9.5, I think we keep in here, encourage and support the development of affordable housing in appropriate locations. I don't have any issue with that.
That, as you may know, is where my
Legal.
little recommendation has been mentioned, and I think if you scroll down there a little bit, Jeremy, is that where the red line,
No, he doesn't
Text.
have that copy, right?
Oh,
Doesn't
I
have
don't-
it. Why, what do you want to change it to,
Really?
George?
No, I
Yeah,
think
George, I
it-
got it right here,
Yeah,
I got a
it-
hard copy of it.
Go down to
101.
C, though. I think it's there.
Go down further down?
I got it. No, he's on a different version than us, though, George.
I think it was in the
Oh,
first
was it?
version.
Okay.
Examine models for creating affordable housing units on large residential lot.
Right.
That's
It's
on
there.
108 of this version.
Yeah, it's there. So all I wanted to do, and I guess now's the time to mention, is embellish that a little bit, and live with that language.
No, it's the 108.
You went
It's
too far.
different.
Different, okay.
Yeah, you had it there.
So what's the language?
So anyway, as I circulated to you all, I was going to say that in addition to what is said there, and there would be better flow if I had that.
Hold on, George, I swear I had it.
It is examine models for creating affordable housing units on large residential, on a
Okay.
large residential lot.
Yeah, and one such model, which has been suggested, would permit the owner of a 2-acre lot to divide the property into 2 lots as of right, in which the second lot would be of 1/2 acre. Compliance with all zoning regulations would be required. Residential structures would be permitted on the 1/2 acre, where one structure would be permitted to include an accessory dwelling unit, or there could be a detached accessory dwelling unit, either of which would be available at below market rates. That was just the gist of what I had suggested, and it's only an example to embellish what they're talking there as an example. But that one line I didn't think quite did it justice.
Well, I think all of these lines are
Yeah.
super high level umbrella.
Oh, I wouldn't put it in
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I
Put
would
it in there.
Yeah.
But you want, for that proposal, you want the severed 1/2 acre to be deed restricted affordable
Yeah,
and not
Or-
just market rate?
not the whole lot, but the ADU.
The 1/2 acre
Or,
lot.
or the building, or the main house too, but I don't expect that to happen. I
One
would
of the
think
two. One of the two would have to
Yeah.
be deed restricted
Yeah.
affordable.
But didn't we talk about sewers issues on 2-acre
Yeah.
lots? So it would.
Well, I mean, it would have to conform to all the current regulations.
Including, septic systems are permitted.
We could,
But anyway, I don't want to go too deep.
we could include that in the ADU review, right? Because that's kind of what you're talking
Yes, sir.
about, right?
I think an ADU is the most logical way to do what I'm talking about here.
I mean, falls under C, examine models for creating affordable
Yeah.
housing
Yeah.
units with large residential lots. I'm not sure how you embellish that.
Just as I suggested, one such model, which has been suggested, is as follows, which I think gives it a little meat, gives somebody some notion of what we're talking about.
Okay. That's text in it, so I think fine. All right.
You each have, I did send this to each of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and again, I just worry about the sewer issue, and it's a little proscript, a little too detailed. I support hey, if we can subdivide a 2-acre lot into 1-acre lot and create, more housing units.
Let the chips fall where they may as to a septic system. I don't know whether that will be.
And again, just for the record, this is an idea to allow people to evaluate.
Yeah,
this
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, no,
This is not.
No, it has a
the
long way to
P&Z
go.
just changed regulations,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden people can split their lots.
Right,
That's not what this is.
no.
And for 9.5, the word appropriate, I'm wondering, like, legally, because that does have a legal meaning, right?
The
Housing in appropriate location.
appropriate locations, inappropriate locations.
I guess it gives the commission the
Um,
option if someone says, well, I'm here to develop you could say, well, that doesn't make any sense. You're out on the end of an island, or the end, you know, you're like, so I guess that would give that's why the word appropriate was probably put in.
I don't know, I don't like appropriate either,
Or
because it seems like
certain.
we're trying to put it.
Subjective, it's subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
of
is
course.
subjective,
Why don't we
right?
just
Yeah.
scratch it completely?
Just, yeah.
Development of affordable housing, done.
Yeah,
Get rid of inappropriate locations completely. What's appropriate is very subjective.
we will
Well,
end up.
we need sewers, that's appropriate.
Or septic
Or
systems.
septics.
In the last version, didn't it say like diverse, like types of housing too, not just affordable? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was
2016.
diversify housing stock was
Okay.
the language
Right.
in the other one, which was,
I mean,
Move
I'm
away
fine
from-
with it, I just didn't want to leave anything out.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not, but I'm only one person.
Strike the last
Wait,
three.
yeah, get rid of inappropriate. All right,
So keep it,
I'm generally not in
Appropriate
favor
locations.
of people having all of a sudden the ability to subdivide lots that when they purchased it and everybody around them purchased it, they thought they were in a 2-acre zone. So personally, it's not something I would
This,
support.
in my mind, it's a little too prescriptive, and
Yeah.
again, examine models for creating affordable housing units on residential lots. Because you don't mention a 1-acre lot or 1.5-acre lot.
well, I don't think we're gonna put examine the models in on the recommendation.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry?
we're not gonna put that in.
This is not going in here?
Not in one of the recommendations, I think.
No,
it's-
I mean, in the script, I
In
mean,
the
in the
text.
plan.
Oh.
I'm not for it in the plan. I like the broad recommendations, I like the idea, but I don't want people coming and saying, change your zoning regs because this was in the plan.
This is clearly just an example,
I know, I understand.
Yeah,
and I think it needs some hint of what we're really talking about a large residential lot.
I think it's more, I think it certainly falls more under the ADU portion of it than I think in just what we're talking about here in affordable housing.
It would make more sense, I think.
This is the affordable housing section, right? Encourage and support the development of affordable housing in appropriate locations.
Yeah, but we also have review and update the ADU provisions in zoning, in the zoning regulations as 9.1, so I think if it ever were to go anywhere, it would go there, because that's really what we're talking about.
This is bigger than just an ADU, so we're talking about changing as of right.
Yeah, and I think that's the essence of the difference, is that what George is after is not necessarily what other commissioners are in agreement with.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah, yeah.
that's why we're not landing on the language.
No, and I didn't expect it to be adopted as a policy going
Yeah.
forward. I just wanted to suggest some hint of what we're talking about, or I'm talking about at least. If anybody has any other way of describing models for creating affordable housing on large residential lots?
Well, maybe Jeremy, you can run it by Neil and see what they think, and we
We've been
can kind of table it and do a circle.
We've been doing this a
Let's
few
put off
meetings.
to Jeremy.
or,
Might
yeah,
be an
okay,
AI.
9-5, and again, this is just a draft that we'll bring out to the public somehow.
Yeah.
So I'll work with
Yeah,
Neil on that
that
one.
is another benefit
I
of letting.
get your
it run.
idea of doing an example, so I'm gonna put my head around this
All right.
without being too prescriptive around 2-acre lots and
Okay.
of course,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think
That's
getting
fair.
in
You
that.
could generalize it too.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
You
think
know,
of.
on
how to
larger
do.
lots, the potential for subdivision to encourage affordable development and sale, you know, so it's not just an
Okay.
ADU attached, but it's actually a new housing.
With an ability to change their lots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm for that. That would be terrific. What I do hope we will be able to get to a public hearing where something about this is there, so that folks can comment on that at that point. Maybe it'll be stricken at that point. We still have that ability.
Yeah, we can restrict this all the way to the last second we publish it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, I
think
mean,
it will-
this isn't the final hearing for everybody in the
Right.
general public as well. We'll have a number of more meetings about this. Okay, moving on to 9.6, I believe is where we left off. Evaluate the purchase of long-term lease of surplus utility land for affordable
Where
housing.
did this come from?
I have no idea. I read through this twice and I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I think there is,
Like,
you know, where
where's the
there is,
utility land
I
that
think
we can lease and
what,
build of land
what
on?
drives land, you know, affordable housing is the exorbitant land costs. So if there's a way for, let's call one of the utilities,
where is there
Where
utility
is there
land in
surplus
town?
utility land, right?
Right.
That's
Like
where I'm getting back
the
to this.
ramp
I
next to
think
the
maybe-
exit ramp on 95, that is a right of way to get to to do maintenance, like, where's their utility land?
The
that-
exit 12 entrance, I think the land off to the right of that is actually a part of
Open lot, yeah.
5 Mile River there, or something which flooded one time, as I recall. But I think that might be an
Or there
area.
be, I know DOT has talked about using and leasing some of their land for housing. Because originally, DOT was saying, nope, 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 and I think they're being more flexible, so,
Should this be utility and public land then?
or state land.
State land?
I know Westport had a gig with, gig
Yeah,
is
why
the
don't
wrong
you-
word, with DOT.
Why don't we
where
add the
they were
word state then?
Add state,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. And that would be in, I lost my spot here, hold on.
9.6.
9.6, thank you.
Surplus state.
Surplus state,
And drop utility. Or even
Or no.
drop surplus.
I have no idea.
oh, that's
Oh,
true.
I
yeah.
have no idea where this is
I
gonna
have
go.
no
so
idea.
I
I'm
know,
for-
I know the
I'm-
lot you're talking about,
I'm for
and
getting
that's
rid of
where I
this,
think it came from.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, good.
There's been other talk about Mechanic Street, but that was more of
That
a
was state,
swap.
That was
yeah, that's
state,
state,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
So,
okay,
yeah.
great, we'll tweak that. Thank you.
I like number 9.7, explore additional funding sources. We have built a sizable trust, and it's getting bigger as we add in the miscellaneous little bits of units, so I think,
It might be Board of Selectmen as,
you need, I was gonna say.
And also the affordable housing, members of the affordable
Yeah,
housing
the
trust.
Affordable Housing Trust Fund should be part of that, right?
Mm.
yep,
But I do think that's, as, you know, it's,
PZ and H is a follow,
yeah, it's a growing pot of money, so that it should
probably Keene.
expand it, or.
Okay.
9.8, continue to support the creation of employer-assisted housing. What do we change this to? Creation of just,
Empl-
of
Employer and volunteer.
employer and volunteer housing? I don't know if you want to call it assisted housing, we'll just call it a housing.
Employee and
Employee volunteer
Yeah.
housing.
Yeah, assisted.
No
living.
assisted, because it's, you know, it's not.
yeah,
So I get
Got
to
it.
sign up?
Exactly.
All volunteers should.
Exactly. We can dorm it up like a fraternity of people.
Jeez, I don't think so. Oh, good lord.
State requirements, revised zoning regulations to comply with state requirements in special session PA number 25-1.
That would be P and Z.
That, yeah, P and Z.
That's all over
Flip.
the department.
And
That's.
we're legally required to do that. Do we need to list it in our POCD?
well, I think it's, if,
It's a good reminder.
it's, yeah, and if someone challenges, say, look, this is clearly consistent with the town plan and state statutes say.
Okay.
I would
So-
keep it in.
Was
All
it
right.
extended by statute?
It was not extended
Oh,
by
so
statute.
July 1 is coming
We're,
up?
yeah, July 1 is very soon.
Do we want to, do we want to, do we
See,
want
that's in the
to?
rearview mirror.
Yeah, it's coming very soon, a week ago. Came and went. Do we
Again,
want
that
to,
magic wand.
do we want to change it so it's not just special session 25-1?
Yeah, I think we can delete special session.
Just to comply with
Yeah.
state
Yeah.
requirements or state mandates, I don't know how you want to say that.
No.
Okay.
Got it.
9.10, evaluate the application of historical preservation and village district zoning tools in downtown.
That was in the last one.
That was in the last one. Do we want to keep it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. Review and update the commercial design guidelines.
I think that's a keeper.
Yep.
Yep.
Update the lighting regulations.
What is
So that's would be the architectural review board too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are lighting regulations, I'm sorry?
I think right now.
You mean like signage and stuff like that?
Yeah, when you talk about signage, oftentimes the ARB will say, how are we lighting the sign? Is it uplit, downlit?
Downlit.
And what kind of
Radius.
Is it a white light, yellow light?
Yeah, and what's the cast on your neighbors and, you
Right,
know,
so
you're doing
I think
this
the ARB is starting to get
development.
into
Yeah.
more of that. And we could even put, ARB, yeah, they're in there.
They're in there. Or, for the
We
first
should
one.
add that.
For the
Line
lighting.
12,
After 12,
add
yeah.
ARB.
Do we want to, we don't have any, it's come up a handful of times. Do we want to even get into sound regulations, or do we just want to
No.
defer to the state? That's what I thought.
No.
Perfect.
It's not a zoning issue.
Though, as an aside, I found it fascinating that there was a study on leaf blower sound in ordinances, but nobody evaluates what's coming off the highway.
Not at all.
I thought that was, for the record, very curious.
Is that not part of the stipulation we might be considering?
The commission is going to be discussing that matter next Tuesday night.
Next, but noises is a part of that, isn't
That was a court case, though.
it? No, I know. Okay,
But it's a state regulated.
Yeah, it's already a state
No, right?
regulation.
okay.
No?
All right, so we're just.
Well, we're gonna be,
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
And you want to put ARB for lighting, right? Jeremy, you got that?
this is number 9-12
Yeah.
at ARB, I have it here. And do you want to add ARB to 9-10?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Next one is 9-13.
Evaluate new land uses for potential inclusion in commercial and/or mixed-use zones. So I know we're trying to capture here. I think P&Z should be first and then the department behind it. We're trying to capture like the dermatology, surgical that we saw a couple months
Oh.
ago.
Or-
Different.
Veterinary dermatology.
Veterinary, yeah, different, we have defined lists of stuff,
Yep.
and some of them are very specific. You remember, I think one of them was like insurance agencies or stockbrokers. and
It's really
like-
the spirit versus the letter.
Yeah.
Capturing the spirit.
So we
versus
want
the
to,
letter.
yeah, I don't know how you word that, but you know what I mean? We want to be able, in 6 years from now, something that kind of fits the box, wants to go somewhere, but it doesn't fit
The
the
letter.
letter of what
Right.
is outlined, but we
Yeah.
still want it to go in, because to sit vacant,
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
we didn't think about in 2026, the fact that XYZ was gonna be a thing.
So, okay. Yeah, when you look at this word and you're like, oh, that makes sense. It's kind of, yeah.
I think what I'm reading here, though, as opposed to what's up there at 9:30, I think I would strike the word land, because we're really evaluating.
It's use.
Yeah, new
It's
uses.
use.
Yeah,
I think
new
that-
uses.
That's a
Good
good
call.
point.
That's what got me confused, because I was thinking, wait, you mean turning residential zones to?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
It's
it's not,
more
it's,
uses.
it's more commercial
It's about the
uses.
Got it.
special use
Perfect.
permits.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So if you get rid of land, that's not as good.
Simplified, okay, good.
What does simplify the special permit process?
I think what Adam
What's that?
talked about in a previous meeting was,
Where we're always like, why is this coming before us? DCA wants to do an event. They got 2 a year, they want to do a third.
So should it be better define the special permit process?
I think it goes under.
I think what we want to do is,
Administrative
we
review.
want to move a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff to
There's a lot
staff
that can
instead
just
of,
be-
that we don't have to hear it. The Boy
I'm in
Scouts
full
want to
agreement.
put on an event, we got to lug them in here
Okay.
to talk about it, and it's
Yeah.
just pointless. Staff can approve that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mather Homestead, every
Yeah,
year.
every year they got to
Every year
come in
they
here,
got to.
and it's
Does
just,
it say anything about that in the, I just want to make it clear to those that read it,
Sure.
that aren't us, right?
should we add a sentence in there?
Maybe.
Talk about, find a way for special permit uses to be,
extended.
Shift
by
minor
staff.
activities to administrative review and replace subjective criteria with quantifiable standards. Perfect.
Yeah,
That's exactly
works.
right.
Missed
It's in there.
Okay, it's in there. We don't have to do
It's in
anything.
there.
That was
It's in
mine,
there.
sorry.
Okay, great. This one also,
Long stretch.
it got flipped too. I think you gotta flip a lot of the, who's in charge of
okay,
everything.
9-15 and 9-16.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
consider rezoning properties in the southeast side of Old Kings Highway South from designated office to central business district. I think that makes a lot of sense. We're getting out of the office game.
Yeah, it really would expand the downtown more north-south,
Yep,
like what was done on Grove Street. You can start doing that.
exactly.
And now Corbin, too.
Yep,
Yep.
and now Corbin. So it's fine. Consider incorporating sustainable green building requirements into zoning districts. We already talked about that.
Mhm.
Do we want to strike that because it's already covered in sustainability?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, and this is
9-16.
9-16. Delete and/or coordinate with chapter 6.
Yeah.
Got it?
I know there is included in the text reference to eliminating the incentive for third-story buildings, but it didn't seem to make it in the recommendations, I guess.
Do you have a page number on that, George?
I don't off the top of my head.
You know where that-
It was the built
Yeah.
environment, I think. And it was fine as far as I was concerned to have it there, but if it should be a recommendation, that's probably what should be highlighted.
There's also the contiguous, along the third story, park provided. We talked about a continuous park and not bits of land
Mhm.
spread across a
Yeah.
site
Yeah.
that then is
Like, well, I
calls
think, and
for
that's the
land.
capture was green space versus.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have removed the incentive of third story in exchange for public plaza in the zones where it exists and change.
We have it in
Proportion
the,
required.
in the detail, but.
Yeah, not in here.
Yeah.
And then here, the Boston Post Road between Leroy Avenue to Spring Grove. No, that's the wrong, right,
That's
should
not it.
remain commercial buildings. Commercial buildings should be, continue to be a limited maximum of 2 stories. That's the wrong way.
No, that's not it. No, we're talking about it's okay to have the
Well, that's what-
inclusionary third with the park, but I think the issue was we want it to look like a park. We don't want it to be like
Yeah, a random.
a
So-
strip of sidewalk and then another strip on the other side that's
So
2x1.
No,
No?
I want to eliminate the prospect of a third story.
Oh,
Yeah, so, hold on, we got,
From,
so this is in
From the
9,
sports shop
That's
to
10D.
Sedgwick or
910D.
Birch, really.
We did talk about that, yeah.
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 Okay, so 910D maintains 2-story height limit, I'm sorry, this is C, maintain the 2-story height limit in central business district and DBD zone, and reduce the maximum height of buildings in the DO zone, designated office zone, from 3 to 2 stories. Is that even,
Well, the designated office zone might be redesigned to
Central
central
business.
business. So,
and then, but then remove incentive of a 3rd story in exchange for a public plaza in those zones where it exists.
Right.
what I
And
think,
change the current proportion requirement for more open space relative to the amount of building to be constructed.
Well,
That I don't
removing the-
mind that, but.
Removing the incentive would no longer permit a third story.
At where, though?
What George was saying
Anywhere.
is the DB zone,
DB and
CBD.
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 Yeah,
You don't want 3 stories in a CBD?
right. No more, we've got too many already, but anyway. Yeah,
I'm not at all.
I don't know, we're talking about
Yeah.
that part.
yeah, you know, yeah. The
But
That's
canyon
where we
effect,
want our,
I-
that's where we want our.
but I also think there's two things. There's the issue of the third story idea, and then there's the issue of people are getting around getting the
spirit of
third
the plaza.
story by putting in plazas that
Yeah.
are, you know, this little strip
Sure,
here,
yeah,
that little
yeah,
strip there, when
yeah.
it's not really something that the public is going to go activate and enjoy.
Use, yeah.
Right, so being part of one of those approvals, I do want to encourage that.
Yeah.
Not
And I think what George is, the other thing that George was after in our prior conversations was, he doesn't want the post road to look like a canyon of,
beyond the central business district, I thought, though. You were talking about the office houses, which would be
Past Sedgwick.
east of Sedgwick, yeah. That's what I remember.
East
Not
of Sedgwick.
removing 3rd story incentives.
no, I would include central business district, because you've already got enough. You got the sports shop, you've got the movie theater, you've got other buildings on that side, and that side is the key, of course, 'cause and so I wouldn't like another third story, because I think it creates that canyon effect. No,
I'm not
you-
sure how
I
it's
don't,
made
we
in
don't,
there.
you don't have to resolve it today, I'm just suggesting as a recommendation. And I would encourage keeping that in for further discussion.
well, by default, what's on the regs is you can have the third floor with the plaza. That's by default.
You
As
can,
as
can,
encouraged.
yes.
right, so you'd have to remove that
Yeah.
incentive.
And then you'll
Yeah.
remove plazas, which
So
we're
maybe
trying
it's,
to
so,
create sense
so.
of places.
Yeah,
and
so maybe the language is broader about evaluate regulations, current regulations in the central business district to, you know, encourage, you know, more open space, use of public plaza.
Lower height buildings.
Yeah, I mean, like, so it's not, we're not it's on the plan, we're making a notation that this is something that a commission deems important for our future planning to get right. And so, I know some of the public comments they're frustrated with some of our use of general terms, but this is a document that's gonna be overreaching for 10 years.
Yeah.
And that we do need to provide as an umbrella, guidance system to enable future commissions to navigate on how they're evaluating the development of parcels that are ripe for development.
Yeah.
There'll be things that come up that we aren't thinking about, but that has to
Yeah,
be
You
brought
could
up.
also,
Yeah.
and/or consider new zones, right, where I can see cutting down the middle to satisfy all parties. Potentially, a zone along a post road corridor that doesn't, let's say, doesn't allow something that's 3 stories, but if you were to go back off the post road corridor, you could do it, so you don't have the canyon effect.
And these are all like, details in a regulation
That
and
need public
a zoning
hearings and
reg.
changes.
It's not what this is about. This
Yeah.
is about capturing the essence of not wanting to create more of what we've just done.
Yeah, and based on my experience previously, we directed development in these business zones where you have more intense use, so you don't see other things sprouting up.
Spread out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spreading out.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying,
we've done a
in
masterful
a
job thus
business
far.
district, create like
Yeah.
a sub-district.
But if we start limiting height here, it's
It's
like
gonna push it
squeezing,
up,
it's
yeah,
like a
you're gonna
balloon,
push it
you're
up
gonna start
there.
pushing it up elsewhere.
Which
So-
I understand,
so
what you
that's-
don't want to do.
That's not the vision that was in the last town plan. I don't think we want to set it in this town plan. But I agree with you. We don't also want to expand 3 stories all the way through town down the Boston Post Road beyond the Central Business District or beyond, the Norton Heights District.
Yeah.
I expect we couldn't do that. What do you call it, the design business?
Yeah,
zone?
you have the DB zone, design business, which runs, I'll call it east of Sedgwick
yeah.
and west of Birch, plus or minus.
Yep.
At
So
this
that-
point, you couldn't
that's-
build a 3-story
no,
commercial
no.
We
building.
can change it though,
No.
or
Right.
put an overlay.
Right, so, taking notes, evaluate the current Darien zoning regulations to encourage more functioning public plazas without increasing building height. Something like that, or without impacting, or creating a canyon effect.
You could just say shadow, we could create shadow regulations for certain, and then you start getting ready to run
Take
regulate
a
air
pass
rights.
at it and then
Yeah, we
we'll
have
all.
to-
Come into
we'll
New York
all-
City.
we'll all-
We're
yeah.
talking, maybe intensity is the word we
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
refer to.
Discuss intensity.
Try to moderate the intense use, or moderate the intensity of the new construction.
Yep, great.
Okay.
Take a swing at it, it's easy.
Tell Neil to watch the Vimeo of this section. and
I'm only
Distill the
confused.
words that we're all
Figure it out,
failing to get
Neil.
to.
That's
That's what we're
all.
paying you for.
Yes, like, okay.
Come back with something.
Watch the Vimeo from here to
All
here.
right, you got 3 easy ones.
Yeah.
Historic preservation, update the 1980 natural and architectural preservation survey. Did this come from somebody specifically? This is the first
I
time
don't know if this was when they met with the Architecture Review Board, or met with the town historian. But I think it's,
Wouldn't this need Board of Selectmen because it's also needs some cash?
It says it doesn't.
NA operating
this
budget,
is 9/16,
but
917.
9/17.
You have the budget in P and Z, Jeremy, to do this?
Potential.
Add in,
Or consider updating.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Just-
consider.
just- Yeah,
Okay,
we
consider
don't.
I mean, it hasn't been updated since. I was born after 1980,
Oh,
so.
quiet.
Just a baby.
So if we made it this long, I think we could go another 10 years.
Yeah,
I'm a millennial. 19, support adaptive reuse. I wasn't sure.
adaptive reuse of historic structures to meet modern, this is rather than tearing it down, a historic
Yep.
building,
Yep,
find a way
yep,
to.
yep, I'm for that,
Should
absolutely.
we say, yeah, support or encourage? I don't know.
Adaptive reuse of structures.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the last one, that's all these are flipped to P and Z. Strengthen the demolition delay ordinance. I think this was,
is that a zoning ordinance?
that's a good
I think
question.
it's a building code. or a building.
No,
I
it's a separate
think-
ordinance.
I think that's
This was
under
the
preservation, yeah, historic preservation to say, you know, you have a longer period of time for somebody to weigh in on whether a building should be demolished, as has
Right.
historic
Let them
significance.
consider it. I would oppose it. I think 90 days is more than enough.
Yeah, I think it was the
I don't
signage
know.
around this
It
too.
was, yeah.
Yeah, right now there's a requirement for signage and a legal notice. So people are aware, we have had a few neighbors put in demolition requests, or delay requests. The town historian has usually moved things along. There are the rare occasions where the town historian will try to work with someone on finding a way to maybe not save the entire structure, but save pieces or arrange
Yeah.
for pieces to be reused elsewhere.
Okay.
I'm fine with it.
All right, and that
Yep.
concludes our list.
Okay. And then any comments we have on wording, get
Yeah,
into
see
that
if they
doc.
shoot them out
Yeah.
to me, say tomorrow, and that way I can ship everything out to Neil. I know Jamie's got me some changes, John, you're gonna send yours in.
Mine are, I texted them in.
Okay.
They're not on an email, they're on the document
Which
directly.
I think is the way to
Where
go.
they should be.
If we can all see them.
And I know
That's
that-
on Neil's.
Yeah.
Right, and Neil has worked through the PZ&H letter and marked up as many things as he was able to incorporate
Okay.
on a short turnaround.
Yeah, they were all
Get it through and
red.
we'll do some emailing.
Yeah, and then, as I said, my goal is to get everything to Neil tomorrow, Thursday morning, give Neil Thursday, Friday, even Monday to package it back up. And then the question for the commission is, do you want to see it again next Tuesday, or say, nope, this is the draft, schedule a public hearing in late September, and refer it out pursuant to the state statute?
Why don't you, before we can answer that question, you gotta get us the draft.
Okay.
Are we meeting next week?
You're scheduled to meet next week.
So we could wait till at least Tuesday.
Okay,
Okay.
so we'll put it on the agenda for Tuesday, you'll get a new version. Do you want to see that redlined or not redlined?
Yeah, let's do it. I like seeing the red.
The
Yeah,
changes.
yeah,
Okay.
because it's a long document.
Yeah,
trying to
and it gives us a
capture
sense of
everything
why
that's
we
just been
changed it, because we
changed.
might have second thoughts, and maybe
Yeah.
the original language was okay.
So what he's gonna add is more red lines reflecting tonight, reflecting other changes, try to get to as many tonight's, and then as many comments as possible.
Mhm.
And then we'll get a red line to you, PZC, maybe Friday or Monday,
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be with the Thursday package.
Yeah.
and then on agenda for 7/14.
If
Got
it's
it.
practical, I would think it'd be okay if he accepted any changes that we didn't raise that we didn't raise, that we
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
accept what he's
absolutely.
done, so
Yeah,
clean it up.
Yep.
okay.
Okay, except what he's done so far.
If we don't have any comment on it.
Okay.
All righty. Okay. Moving right along. Preliminary conservation subdivision application, the Episcopal Church in Connecticut, the Commons, 471 Mansfield Avenue. This is a discussion pursuant to section 843 of the Darien zoning regulations regarding subdividing the property into 4 residential lots. The 14.4 plus or minus acre property is shown on assessor's map number 2 as lot 35 in the R2 residential zone. Jeremy, I see we have this back on our agenda tonight. You want to give us an idea of what's going on
Sure.
here?
In December of 2025, about 7 months ago, this came before the Planning and Zoning Commission. There were 4 members present. Craig Flaherty was here on behalf of the Episcopal Church up on Mansfield Avenue, talking about section 840 of the zoning regulations, conservation subdivision. And he showed us a number of maps, and the commission discussed the pros and cons of 3 units versus 4 units. You may recall Stony Brook, the
You mean
upper
lots?
reaches.
You mean lots?
Lots,
Like,
lots.
yeah.
What did I say?
You said units.
You-
And I was like, did I
lots.
miss something?
Lots
The
of
upper
units.
reaches of Stony
Get it.
Brook is there. It's a little different than the Stony Brook down here. But Craig is here to talk a little bit about, at the time, he showed the commission some wetlands which had been flagged, some which had not. He now has more detailed information. He wanted to discuss it with you again. And here we are. And Craig's gonna plug in his computer to show you those.
The HDMI cord that's usually here is not here.
Ah, I'm wondering if I have a hard copy in my office. Hold on, I might,
Well, can you get the internet here or not? I can,
yeah,
I
hold on.
probably have a thumb drive. Yeah.
Do you want me to get you a thumb drive?
I got a thumb drive. I also have an HDMI for a minute, I'm just gonna read for you.
It's amazing. If I plugged a thumb drive into a computer at work, I'd be just escorted out of the building within a minute.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You wanna take a 2-minute break while we try to figure out the?
Sure, well, what we can do is just move on to two other,
Oh,
you want to?
yeah, definitely. Motion to change the agenda.
Yeah, do I have a motion to modify the agenda? Do we want to do 7 weeds, or do we want to go into the public hearing?
Let's do the public hearing.
Yeah, do I have a motion to amend the agenda to go into consider the first item in the public hearing? Amy makes a motion, John makes a second, all those in favor? 5-0.
Yep.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering the public hearing portion of our evening, where we have one item on the agenda. This is the continuation of public hearing regarding business site plan application number 186G, special permit PL 2682, Image Studios Darien, 800 Boston Post Road. This is the proposal to establish a new salon suite, providing 34 salon studios to salon professionals in a 6,564 plus or minus square foot second floor space of the building. The 1.17 plus or minus acre subject property is located on the southeast corner, formed by the intersection of Boston Post Road and Sedgwick Avenue, and is shown on Assessor's map number 71 as lots 1, 2, and 17 in the Central Business District CBD. Jeremy, what do we got?
I spoke earlier today with the applicant's representative, attorney Amy Zabatakis, who asked that this be immediately continued to next Tuesday, July 14th at 7 p.m. in this room.
Okay. Great. On that note,
Just one question on that. We did get some other documents. Are we waiting more?
We're going to continue to get additional information. The commission requested
Okay.
additional information, and Ms. Zabatakis continues to
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
work on that.
right.
Minutes?
Yeah, I guess, do we want
Or we'll go
to,
back to Weeds Landing.
I think Weeds Landing will take more than a minute.
Yeah.
So let's wait on that, but why don't we just move forward into the general meeting where we can approve the minutes from June 23rd?
Yep.
June 23rd minutes were included in our packet. I assume we all read them. Did anybody note any Scrivener's errors, typos, or issues with the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? John makes a motion. George makes a second. All those in favor?
I'm abstaining on that one.
Yep.
Amy's
4-0.
abstaining, so 4-0 with one abstention. The
Amy
minutes
not
for June
abstaining.
23rd are approved. And I do apologize to my colleague Jamie. I did see her hand go up, so she should have gotten the second on that one, so.
Okay.
You can close the hearing.
Thank you.
As long as you're quick.
My favorite.
Something to look forward to. He forced me, you saw that, didn't you? He forced me.
I saw it.
Let's do this.
This,
Yeah, I don't know why it's not coming through, but we'll get there.
Do you need to change the input on the TV to like
Yeah,
HDMI?
but it's trying to read HDMI, but,
Is there something else plugged into it?
yeah.
Do you need to unplug the other thing? What's the thought? I don't know.
I don't want to mess around too much, you know?
Oh, something just happened.
Yeah, I switched the HDMI slots. That's all you usually have to do, but it's not working. All right, give me a second.
Yeah, no. You might have to change the output on your laptop.
Yeah, how do you do that? Output.
Settings, display. Oh, we do have,
Do we have it on our?
we have it in the,
Yeah.
there's
On the
no-
agenda.
There's no
Okay, let me
link
get-
though to the,
There's no link.
I can get it onto a.
It was
Just take
a,
second.
yeah.
would
And
be
I have
attached.
backup boards too.
It was a separate attachment.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
471 Mansfield pack. Do we all have the packet in front of us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the packet. Do you want to just bring up the PDF packet you included? I see you've got, oh, no, that's Jeremy.
Yeah, you can just quit out of my stuff, or I can quit out of it, if that's helpful. I don't think it makes a difference, but.
We have Craig, we have the letter,
Yeah, okay.
dated,
And the schematic.
and the schematic dated July 1st, 2026. I think that's just what you're trying to bring up.
This is what I bring back up.
There you
I
go.
have everything.
Perfect.
That's impressive.
When in doubt.
Okay.
All right.
Was that with the Thursday memo?
It was,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was,
So,
Attached to the email.
okay, my name is Craig Flaherty. I'm a professional engineer licensed in the state of Connecticut.
Welcome.
And senior engineer with Redness and Mead, land use consulting company with offices in Stamford and Wilton. I am here tonight on behalf of my client, Missionary Society, Inc., also known as the Episcopal Church in Connecticut, the Commons, owner of 471 Mansfield Avenue, represented here tonight by John Heflin, their properties superintendent. Is that the right title? Is that the? Yeah, appropriate. We've been providing land surveying and civil engineering services for our client. We were here in December where we got guidance that the proposal was eligible for consideration under Section 840, effectively your conservation subdivision regulations. Because we want to subdivide the lot, the single property, which is 14.4 acres, into four roughly 2.5 acre lots plus open space. So this is the plan of what we want to do, and it's largely the same thing we showed you in December. So the four lots are shown here, 1, 2, 3, 4. With all the development for those four lots on the east side of the Stony Brook, between the Stony Brook and Mansfield Avenue, largely within the space that is developed today. It's out there, of course, there's 2 residences, there's a garage, there's a church with a sanctuary and classrooms and offices and community spaces. And there's a network of parking and drives that surround the church. So this is what we would like to do under the conservation subdivision regs. Now, the conservation subdivision regs, Section 840, has a process you have to follow to do that. The first thing you have to do is provide a sketch plan to the town planner and have review it with him and have him agree that, yes, this is something that is eligible under Section 840. We did that in November. The second thing you have to do is come to the Planning and Zoning Commission and show them the sketch plan and a preliminary plan of the subdivision, and get concurrence from them that, yes, this is eligible for consideration as a conservation subdivision, so please file a final and formal subdivision application. When we showed you 2 plans at that time. One was the plan that we are proposing and are still proposing, which has these 4 lots. It's got 2 open space parcels at the north end and the south end. Those 2 parcels represent 30% of the lot area, and it's got deed restricted areas, effectively conservation easement areas, on the west side of the Stony Brook on the lots. So at the end of the day, we're suggesting that 54% of the property end up as protected open space.
Could you just map out or give us a general assessment of the size of each of the open spaces with the deed restricted space?
Yeah, this one's about 0.9 acres, this
Yep.
one's 0.87, this one's 1.22 acres, this one's 0.54 acres. So all told, again, that's, the fee simple is 4.3 acres, and the deed restricted conservation easement area is 3.5 acres for a total of 54% of the site. That's what we believe is pretty generous. We looked at the last 4 conservation subdivisions in town, and I think the amount of open space provided on those is anywhere between 30 and 39%. So when we showed you this, which is the proposed plan that we'd like to do, and we showed you a demonstration plan, which, nope, that's not the demonstration plan. Oops. There we go. And we showed you a demonstration plan in accordance with specifically 843B1. So 843B1 is a sketch plan, word of the regulation, which establishes a realistic indication of the number and location of lots and buildable areas which would be allowed under the basic regulations of the town. So that was this plan. I'll go over that in a second. And then the second plan is the preliminary plan setting forth the proposed subdivision concept and clearly establishing the criteria under which an exception is being requested. Such preliminary plan shall generally comply with the requirements established under Article 3 of the subdivision regs. That's that plan. So this plan showed could you lay out the 4 lots on a conventional basis.
Yep.
And this shows the layout of the conventional lots on that basis. You have 1, 2, 3 lots in the front, and you had a 4th lot in the back on the west side of the road. And at the time, you agreed that this seemed like a good idea. With a conventional subdivision, you get 10% open space. It's the conservation subdivision that compels the applicant to protect more. That's the whole purpose of the regulation. And under the proposed plan, you get 54%. So the guidance at the time we got was unanimous on behalf of the commission to say, yeah, please come forward with a final subdivision application. We will consider that. Now, it's important to note, both at that time and now, all reviews of preliminary plans shall be designed to aid the applicant, and I'm reading 843D, in the preparation of an acceptable final plan, and shall not be construed as the application required for approval herein, nor shall any preliminary planning recommendations, which you did in December, made by the commission be binding on the commission in its action on any formal application. So this is totally informal. It's guidance, and that's it. And so since that time, we filed an application with Wetlands first to get permission to demolish this structure, and that's better to see on this plan. This is one of the houses, because we can't file a subdivision map with a property boundary going through a house. So that was deemed to be the activity that we actually needed to accomplish to file the subdivision map, so we went and got wetland approval for it. We have an administrative approval to demolish that house. Subsequently, we were asked to actually come back to EPC with a formal application to evaluate the activities associated with the subdivision, whether or not they would have an adverse impact on wetlands or watercourses. So that's the process we're in now. At the time, we showed you this plan, so in December, and we knew there was the Stony Brook, right? We knew we had to maybe get across the Stony Brook for this theoretical lot. And we knew there were some water courses going through the site, and we had disclosed all that on the plans we provided to you. Since December, and so this is really the reason we're here before you tonight, we've actually mapped all the wetlands on the property. We previously did not have them mapped on the west side of the brook. So there are wetlands that border those water courses, right? And those wetlands are now shown on this map. You can follow that dashed line right here. All right? That line between wetlands and uplands is generally coincident with the potential building envelope on that theoretical lot.
Yep.
So we contend this still meets the basic application of the regs, that theoretically is a lot. I'm not suggesting that that approval would be easy, but I do think that that construction is feasible, and even the approval is feasible. I have a project going in Greenwich right now where we built 180 feet of timber wood bridges across a wetland, so it can be done.
Yep.
This was approved by Wetlands, it was approved by Army Corps. It is feasible. We don't want to do that. What we'd like to do is proceed with so that's why we're here.
You're here just to show us that it is feasible.
So yeah, to be very specific about why we're here. You gave us guidance in December that said, we think this is eligible for consideration under section 840. Please come forward with a final subdivision application. Since that time, additional information has been added to the plan, specifically this wetland delineation, right? And so the question came up,
Is it still
well, now that there's new information,
Is it still feasible?
is it still feasible, and is this still something that planning and zoning would consider acceptable under section 840 of the regs? So out of abundance of caution, we're here for that confirmation. We're not trying to rehash the guidance that you provided us in December. We're here basically to confirm the guidance you gave us in December because we have some new information and we wanted to make sure you had that new information.
So just for the new guy, since you've done it, how much open space is in the feasible plan vis-a-vis
Well, any
what
conventional-
you're creating in the potential plan?
So the conventional
Yeah.
subdivision is, what is required by your subdivision regulations is 10%.
Right. So it's
That's
much,
right.
much less on the
Yes.
feasible.
That's the whole point of the conservation regulation, right, is like, hey, in the redevelopment of land, we can actually read the premise, in the redevelopment of land, let's try to protect more stuff, right? And so I'll read it. Where the commission shall determine that significant natural, man-made, or special features exist on a site proposed for subdivision or re-subdivision, the protection and preservation of which would promote the purposes of these regulations, the specific area width, depth, frontage, yard, and coverage requirements established by section 400, your regular zoning setbacks and so forth, and the various area and bulk requirement schedules may be modified to achieve such protection and preservation.
And nothing about what you propose for the 4 lots. We're not talking anything, we're just only talking about the theoretical plan
Yes.
to get the conservation
Yes.
easement, the conservation subdivision.
Yeah, we're not gonna do any of this.
Exactly.
What we're gonna do is this. All the lots will be developed on the east side of the brook.
Nothing to do with wetlands, the development part of it. So
Correct.
that's not even what you're here for. You're here just to show us that the theoretical plan is still possible to get to the real plan.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. We're not changing what we wanna do. That's still what we wanna do. It's 54% open space.
It's a lot more open space.
Yes.
Yeah, in that plan.
Now, again, the balance of the conservation subdivision is the applicant provides more open space, we protect more land, but there is flexibility provided so that we can do that. And the flexibility that we asked for in December, that hasn't changed since, is to take lot widths from 200 feet to 140 and side yard setbacks from 35 to 25.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
looked at,
Those were consistent with lots across the street?
Yeah, which are 90 to 100 feet wide.
I know.
Yeah.
Thank you for walking me through.
yes, yes.
Okay. Do you need anything?
And happy to answer any questions you have.
No, so I think it's pretty straightforward. Basically, it's, for us, as a question is the theoretical one possible? If it is, then that's fine.
That's fine.
Yep.
And I think he's shown with a bridge that is currently development in Greenwich, certainly might not be cost effective, but we're not here to evaluate that. We're here to evaluate possible. And I think it's
feasible.
satisfied that. Yeah, so I don't have any questions. I don't know, I'll start on my right. Jamie, anything?
Nope.
George?
Well, I just do want to be clear, what water courses would you be crossing, if any?
So as before, again, we don't want to.
Yeah,
But it is the Stony Brook, it's the upper reaches of the Stony Brook. There is no flood plain associated with this. It's far enough north where they have not defined one. But you have the Stony Brook that you'd have to get across and the wetlands that border it to get to that upland area.
But did you say that there are a number of other tributaries?
There's one here, but we wouldn't have to cross it, and there's one over here, but we wouldn't have to cross it.
Oh, that's it, there's
Yeah.
none in the middle, okay,
Yeah.
again, okay, good, thank you, then, no problem.
Amy?
I'm fine.
John?
No, I mean, I'd just make the comment that the feasible plan is not the optimal plan by any means,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, no, I think that you're in a much better situation.
Yeah, I think the outcome of
The
the
town.
easement is, the conservative, it's a
Conservation.
significantly
Yeah.
better plan.
Mhm.
Okay.
Very significant.
Yeah, it's not even remotely close. Almost half of the
So,
space is gonna be dedicated to
Pursuant
open space.
to, guess what it says here is, so you've given us planning guidance and subsequent, this is an F, 843F, subsequent to receiving any commission approval of the preliminary application, we shall then prepare final plans. Now, those have been filed. We have not opened the public hearing on that. It
Right.
looks like that might open in September. So,
Right.
you know, if things go well tonight and things
We're
go
not
well
even,
next
we're not
week,
even at the
wetlands,
stage
we'll
of
get-
evaluating what the
Correct.
application is.
Not open, we're not talking about it, just this.
And where do you stand with
Are we
EPC?
eligible? We have a public hearing next week.
Got it, okay.
All right, so I mean, this is a general meeting, but I'll take a straw poll. All those in favor of this? Yep, 5-0 from us. I
All right,
think you're
thank you
good.
very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay,
again.
thank you.
Okay, moving right along. The next and final item on our agenda is 7 Weeds Landing. This is a interesting one, the first time I've seen one like this, but it's a permission to place a monument sign within a designated open space area. So within our packets today, we have a proposal for the replacement of a sign kind of at the front of the Weeds Landing street cul-de-sac to go where I think the previous sign was that got run down by the winter or snowplow or something. And they're here before us, so Jeremy, maybe you want to
Sure, I can try to summarize it. We got a memo from Lee Shalov of 19 Weeds Landing, which does a nice summary of what it's all about.
Yep.
That the homeowners association wishes to put up a new sign, and when we looked at where they wanted to build it and what they wanted to build, it came to our attention that they had this deed restriction on that, I use the term open space area at the corner of Weeds Landing and Boston Post Road, which limits any structures. So the question here is, it comes to planning and zoning because the open space was with restriction to planning and zoning. Certainly the sign, if you authorize them to proceed with the sign, it would go to Architectural Review Board to look at the style, the
Graphics,
shape,
that
the
stuff.
size, all those dynamics. But the question is, does the commission wish to authorize the placement of a sign in this, I'll call it open space area? And Lee attached the deed, which gives you the details and the flavor for what this is all about.
Was the previous sign the same size and the
The
same?
previous sign was more of a typical street sign, but it was a black street sign, and Lee's here, I think he had included a picture of it,
Oh,
which I don't have, but I've seen before. It was up for,
Yeah.
many, many
You
years.
gotta stay at the
You want me at the lecture? Sure.
And then I'll just add, in addition to that, one, we're reviewing some regulations made in the 70s here. And then two, it looks like all of the homeowners in the association are for this, except for one, due to the nature of just not being contacted, not somebody who is actively against this. So I think generally we can say the residents of Weeds Landing are for this proposal.
That's
So,
correct.
Sorry, welcome, sir, just state your name.
My
and
name
address
is
for
Lee
the record.
Shalov. I'm a homeowner at 19 Weeds Landing.
Welcome.
I'm also the, I guess, de facto president of the Homeowners Association. I'm here with Judy Shen, who is one of my neighbors at 7 Weeds Landing.
I'm the president of mine, it's super fun time.
A thankless job, but one nonetheless that somebody has to assume. Right, so just by way of background, we had an old pole that probably was constructed 30, 40 years ago that was very unsightly. Someone, ironically enough, ran it over. And we now have a big hole in the front of what's called Open Space B. There is a restriction in the deed that requires approval of the Planning and Zoning Commission to authorize the construction of any structure. I've sent out a notice to 8 of 9, to all the homeowners, and 8 of 9 have approved. One has not contacted me. I'm assuming he's, well, I can't assume one way or another. I don't know, but I have tried multiple times to reach out and contact him. So we've engaged OB Landscaping to construct a sign which we think is modest and pretty attractive. Everybody's approved the structure. He's given a cost, which we're going to assume on a pro rata basis. It's about $7,000, and we'll put some shrubbery there. We won't remove any trees. We might do some trimming of trees, but it'll certainly look much better than it looks now.
Okay.
Just one quick question, why are you using a sign like that versus the sign you had before?
We think that this is a much more visually, aesthetically pleasing sign. It's
Fill
sort
some
of
space.
Yeah, it's like
It's kind of a
a,
weird spot for
Yeah.
a sign. It's not kind of on the side of the road how the private signs usually are. It's kind of in the middle of, it's
It's
an odd
just
spot.
wondering,
I'm sorry?
The sign, or the one that got mowed over was in a weird spot.
Yeah, it was sort of on the corner,
Yeah.
and that's where this would be, but, you know, as I drive down Post Road and, you know, other communities, various developments, I see similar types of signage on the street. So I think it pretty much fits the standards of the community, and I think will look very appealing.
Got it.
Great. I'll start. John, anything? No? Amy, any?
Just for the record, I'm a big believer that private deed restrictions should be enforced. And based on the deeds restrictions you have on the document here for this, you did engage the homeowners, and you clearly have a majority of the homeowners, which seems to be in accordance with the governance of what this open space spirit is about. So for that reason, I'm in favor of it. Thank you.
Yep, yeah, I have no issues. I think the new sign, if ARB approves it, will look nice, and it'll add character to the community. George?
I'm just curious, and I, of course, have driven by there all the time, but I didn't happen to recently. What is at the other corner, the other side of the street?
It's also called an open space. There are 2 open spaces on each side of the street that I guess were designated by the former developer of the property. So it's sort of like a small park-like area on both sides.
Okay, same rules apply.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, and if ARB doesn't approve it, does it come back to us?
No, I guess, I guess a negative ARB report could come back to planning and zoning. The fallback would always be a more traditional street sign.
Yeah.
Or we can just overrule ARB.
But
Do we
have
really need a traditional street sign? The one that
I'm
was.
sorry,
on-
ma'am, if you want to speak, you have to come to the podium and say your name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can.
You can,
We just
by all
have to know who
means.
you
We just
are.
have to know who you are. It's
No,
not,
no,
sorry.
I was,
Yeah, okay.
I'm one of the residents on the street.
Yeah, no, so I mean, I think if it does come back negative from ARB, then
We'll have to.
we can evaluate it then,
Okay.
and we can tell them to,
All right, I will
So-
stand in the way.
In terms of sequence, the next step in the process is to file an application with the ARB. And so I guess, Jeremy, I'll coordinate with you in pursuing that.
On
and-
their July agenda.
Okay, and does it require another presentation to the
Yes.
Planning and Zoning Commission?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, so once we get approval, I can convey that to the landscaper, and he can begin working on the project.
You are quite an optimist.
Great.
for good measure, I'll take the straw poll. All those in favor? The straw poll has 5-0, so you've got it from us. So now I think your next step is to get an application in front of ARB with the designs, and I don't think there's any lighting proposed, right?
No, there's no electrical, if anything, it'll be solar powered. Sort of like.
Thing,
And
yeah.
somebody will inform ARB that it's already been okayed by us.
Approved by us.
Yes, that's
I'm
what
sure
we'll do.
Mr. Ginsburg will handle that.
I
And my
would
thanks
just
to Mr.
comment that
Ginsburg for helping me out.
this is unusual, but I do think we have the cart before the horse. I would prefer the ARB act on it first, but.
Well, the question is,
Can
if the
they?
commission said, no, it says no structures, don't even go to ARB.
Well,
That's
that's why
was my
I
perspective.
That's a waste
asked,
of time.
if ARB says no, then what happens? Anyway, okay, you're good.
We already told them yes.
Thank you so much.
Maybe they may tell us
Thank you.
no.
So,
They may tell us no.
I said, we already
Mr.
said
Clerk?
yes. sir.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they're an advisory board,
Oh, I know that.
as I like to remind. So Chairman's report, I have nothing to report on. That looks like potentially we will reschedule the Thorndale
Site walk.
site walk to Monday or next
Yeah, we're
Monday.
gonna aim,
Okay.
it was not a great day yesterday.
Yeah, a little muddy, a little on the muddy side
So we
Or
were
today.
thinking
today.
Monday the 13th, I think we
Yeah,
talked about.
next Monday.
So at noon time,
Okay.
if that works, if not, we'll aim for Monday the 20th.
Perfect.
Just send me an email tomorrow or let me know.
Either one works for me,
Yeah,
generally.
poor John's probably a no on both.
I'm good. That wasn't one of mine, so I'll let you
So-
guys.
Yeah, work
to
from
our way.
home, you gotta see how busy, you gotta stay home.
Actually, yeah,
I'm like
actually, it's
part
not
of
a
it, so-
great day for me.
Not, Monday's not great?
There happens to be
Okay.
a golf event.
Let me
How about
see.
the
Both Mondays?
No, the 13th.
And we can do the following
We can
Monday,
do the
Yeah.
following.
20th.
Okay,
It also works for
okay.
me.
It's probably better. for-
That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
20th.
Good, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can make it work.
Oh, nice.
Well, now I expect a golf invite out for Monday. So I don't know, where are we playing?
Oh, good.
Yale?
No, I'm sorry.
You're paying?
Oak Hills.
What-
Oak
what
Hill.
day-
Fundraiser for
Forget about
Alma
Oak
Dairy.
Hill.
All right.
Oh, God.
What day was selected?
The 20th.
20th?
I was
Yeah,
gonna play
that's
there
good for me.
yesterday, but got rained out. Yeah.
20th.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
July 20th site.
All right.
You're too young to be
Motion
part of the
to,
mental
uh,
substance.
What about the director's report? Anything, Jeremy?
Oh, come on.
No, I have nothing, but I'll have something for next week.
And then just, we have meetings, what, next week, and then a week off, and then the 28th?
That's correct.
Anything vague or crazy coming at us?
No, we're trying to get as much cleaned up as possible, so next week we'll have the continuation of 800 Post Road, and we'll have the remand on the Board of Education, 2 hearings, and the POCD, and that's basically the full evening.
Got it.
Okay,
I
great.
won't be here next week, just so,
Got it.
Nice. Hopefully somewhere warm.
probably not.
All right, well then I will make, does anybody have a motion to adjourn?
Jamie
Jamie.
did.
Jamie makes a
does.
motion.
Yeah.
John makes a second. All those in favor?
Yeah.
5-0. All right, ladies.